Your worldview is ludicrous. 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 Your worldview is ludicrous.
I wish I never learned to speak, 'cause I cannot shut my mouth. They took my balls away from me. It's spaghetti time. I see your faces in the wall. Egyptian shows. I made it from the mall to the astral plane. I met the law. Judgment Day.
Doors closing. Doors closing. Doors closing.
Bye, Satan.
I'm the headless horseman chasing Ichabod, and I am Ichabod Crane. No, don't worry about it. I'm the Armageddon that I'm heading for if I don't change my way. No, don't worry about it. Every time I open up my snaggle-toothed mouth, I say something profane. No, don't worry about it. Even if I wanna say a good thing, that is not what I'll say. No, don't worry about it. Locked inside a dinosaur's rib cage, on the dinosaur I ate. No, don't worry about it. Trying to succeed and trying to destroy myself at the same pace. No, don't worry about it. Every word I say is a word that I wish I didn't say. No, don't worry about it. Maybe I'm profound, maybe I'm a clown on stage, maybe I'm vain. No, don't worry about it. I forgot what the fight was about. I forgot why I shut my mouth. Forgot what I'm fighting for. I began to believe in the world, doing better than I ever did. But something's still wrong with the kid. Something's still wrong with the kid. Nothing ever sits right. Yes, now I'm losing my mind. Now I'm losing my friends. Now I'm losing my cool. Now I'm losing my edge. Now I'm losing my heart. Now I'm back to the start. Now I'm back to the start. Yes, now pathetic, you're scarred. Know who you are. You're a man on the run from who you are and wherever you're from. You changed your name, didn't change what you've done. You're still the same. You're pathetic, you're scarred. The beast will not let up. 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 I don't know what to do. I'm faced up. All the other ones have given up, and I know just how they feel. 'Cause I feel it as well. I don't know what to do. I'm faced up. Balls are scarlet up and terrible. This is kind of war ever start. All my tears have made me blind.
Alrighty then. Let's see here, boys. Are we live, dude? We're doing it. Doing it big. Chaotic stream because just trying to. Are we? Did we crash the stream or something? No. Discord's just not loading. Anyway, so we're gonna recap the weekend a little bit. We're going to hold on, expire never. I guess if you join from this link. Let me see. There we go. There we go. We will put this in the chat. We'll pin it. Come hang out if you were there at debate. Or if you weren't, I guess you can hang out too. But for the homies, the boys that were at DebateCon, we want especially you. So, anyways, we're just going to kind of recap the weekend, talk about the event, and then also review at least Rachel's debate, maybe Jay Dyer's too. I actually didn't get to see like half the debates. So, we're also going to be making a thumbnail now for the stream. Fortunately, you guys can't see it, but it's gonna be pretty chill, dude. I think it'll be good. I'm making a YouTube thumbnail. Appropriate dimensions, appetite dimensions. This is gay. With other pictures surrounding. This is so gay, dude. We just had to do it on the fly because, you know, I have a wife and kids and they're sick apparently. And it's just crazy. It's insane in this house right now. It's crazy. So, let's see. Beep, beep. Beep, beep. Dude, crazy. Crazy time. Do I have another picture of this? I guess I don't have one of like everybody. I thought I had one of everybody. And this dingus freaking deleted the damn server. Here we go. Here's something. Say, let's see, text as Dallas. All right, let's see if this works. See if we get a dope thumbnail. Probably not. Dude, this thing is like taking way too long. Brother, it's just a thumbnail. It's like running commands, dude. Let's see if we can go ahead and pull up one of the debates. Dude, it was a crazy weekend, man. From start to finish. From stat to finish. Oh no. Let's see. Let us see. This is so good, dude.
One of these two people actually.
It's not showing me like anything, bro. Okay, connected. Never mind, I see it. Chat connected, thank you. And we're connected here. Dub 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 dub. Dub 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 dub. I hear everything, so I think we're outputs are good. I think we're good. Hello. Alright, yeah, I think we're good. Dude, what a blast. This thing is still going. That is actually crazy. Dude, I just wanted a thumbnail, man. It really shouldn't be like... It seems like it's taking entirely too long. It's been making a thumbnail for 4 minutes. It really wasn't that serious, Grok. Just literally smash the pictures in there and put my face at the center. That is crazy. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Dude, this is getting kind of gay. All that for that, dude. Wow. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, in the meantime, let's cut the music. Let's cut the music, brother. And we'll start a little review. Well, I do need to use the bathroom, so I'm going to need to, like, dip and then come back, but... Let's see, which is the right one? Is it this one? Oh, yeah, we're not doing this right now. Because it's over, dude. That's not the right one either. Hey, yo. There we go. What will I do?
When Christians advocate their vote, when some Christians will say that you shouldn't use Christian values.
Okay. We're going to... Dude, this is getting bad, dude. Alright, let me go use the bathroom real quick. get the intros out of the way.
As part of your vote, that's what happens. That's why we need to roar. Roar is doing it one congregation at a time all across the country. Follow me on X. That's Revive the Roar on X. One of these two people actually do follow me, so that's pretty cool. I'll let you guess which one. And revivetheroar.app. Revivetheroar.app. Come talk to me in the back. Love you guys. Have fun.
Thanks, Mike. Check out Roar and Main First Project at the back table there. And with that, we're going to get into our debate. If you haven't already, please do silence your phones so there are no distractions. Also, for our debate, is feminism doing more good or more harm? I'm going to start by introducing Rachel, as she will go first. Rachel Wilson is an author and cultural commentator whose fearless research challenges conventional narratives about feminism, women, and family. Please join me in welcoming Rachel Wilson.
Dude, they were in enemy territory. They were completely outnumbered. It was very...
And on your left, we are pleased to welcome
very
Kyla,
funny.
Also known as NotSoErudite. She is a thoughtful commentator who brings psychology, social science, and careful analysis to debates about gender and culture. Please join me in welcoming NotSoErudite.
Oh, erudite.
All right, I am setting the timer for 5 minutes.
You know what's funny is I think she made this face. A couple of the other people did this too. I think they were surprised that that people were like. There's a clip I shared on Twitch that was like Loner Box reacting to this, like literally right after his debate outside. Somebody interviewed him, and then like posted it to Twitter, and I quoted it and did a video reaction and put a caption because it was so perfect. This reaction to me, looking back, because I think a couple of them felt this way. Hold on, let's see.
And on your left, we are pleased to welcome Kyla, also known as NotSoErudite.
She knows there's like 6 or maybe 8 people that are all sitting together in one section for her. That's it. That's like all Destiny and Erudite could bring to this whole thing. It was kind of crazy. Yo, what's up, Blizzo? So this is kind of telling to me because it's like she makes a face like she's surprised that everybody clapped for her and like didn't like boo her and throw beer cans onto the stage. Oh, maybe wait. Never mind. No, I take it back. I think there was like 3 people booing. Okay. Right, I didn't hear that part the first time. I didn't hear it in there because I was sitting in there. Everyone was like, good for you, yeah. Because people were trying to be like charitable to the other side, and that's what I was saying about that interview. So this guy, Loner Box, does an interview outside, and he's like, "Oh, it's like I don't even know if this is real because after the debate." Then everyone was like super nice to me and was like, "Hey man, thanks for taking the debate." And like, you actually made like the way you put together your arguments, like Rob won, but like, good job here or whatever. And he was like confused that everyone was being nice to him. And I thought that was kind of funny. I did a little react to it on Twitter.
All right, I am setting the timer for 5 minutes. One last thank you to our sponsor, Yonaguni International Cuisine. Check them out in the description box below. And with that, I have the timer set for you, Rachel. The floor is all yours for 5 minutes.
James, Kyla said she's okay with 7 minutes. I probably won't need the full 7, but just thought I would let you know that. I'm probably just going to go a pinch over 5.
A pinch.
All right, so is feminism doing more harm than good? I'm going to say, of course, that I think it's doing more harm. Let's take a brief review of what we've gotten so far from feminism and its 6 pillars of propaganda. So feminism invaded the Western social order in roughly 1 century through its 6 primary pillars.
And keep in mind, too, that the topic of the debate is feminism doing more good or harm?
7th that I'm going to introduce to you today. We've got sexual liberation.
Trying to let them just do their openings because I got to do this anyways.
No
But
fault divorce, demonization of tradition, and either rejection or reinvention of Christianity. Tonight, I'm going to focus on the measurable results of these pillars and introduce the seventh, what I call the she-economy. So if we look at family structure collapse since feminism became the dominant political ethos across the entire West, we've got 40% of children in the United States.
So we might need to do like
no longer
1.5
biological
because
parents. In 1945, that number was only 10%. Children living without both married biological parents face more than 8 times higher risk of endangerment, standard maltreatment, which is a fancy term for all types of abuse. We have a fatherless epidemic, so roughly 1/3 of American children live without their biological father. That's a 3-fold increase over the historical norm. They account for 90% of homeless kids, 85% of kids. Where's my life? 70% of kids in incarceration facilities, and 71% of adolescents in substance abuse treatment centers. Let's look at unmarried births and the welfare trap. In the United States, only about 5% of kids were born to unmarried mothers in 1960. At present, that number is 41%. At the same time, we've gone from $50 billion a year in annual welfare spending in 1950 to now $700 billion per year. That's a 14-fold increase after you adjust for inflation. By 2010, 90% of all cash welfare payments and half of all food assistance went to single mother households. In 1940, only 6% of kids under age 6 had mothers working full-time outside the home. Today, that number is 58%. So you guys have probably heard all of those kinds of stats from me a lot in the past, but let's talk about the she-economy, which is the 7th pillar. And this is really consistent across all
The
Western nations,
she-economy.
regardless of what type of systems they have. As soon as feminism is introduced, not only does it transform the social order, it radically transformed Western economies, shifting them from production-based systems that favor long-term stability into debt-driven consumer economies that prioritize short-term gains. Proponents claim that the surge in female labor force participation since the 70s has been good because it expanded the GDP and created 2-income households. That view is incomplete. With the election cycle coming up, affordability, housing shortages, inflation, and labor shortages are going to be talked about a lot, so this is a good moment to discuss this. So who actually builds the economy? When we look at GDP across Western nations, men contribute about 60% of the GDP and women contribute about 40%. But if you look per capita, men generate 36% more GDP per capita than women do. Women own 39% of US businesses now, but they only generate 6.2% of total business revenue. Keep that one up here. It's very important. It basically comes out that about 22% of all women's efforts in the economy are either directly.
oh my gosh,
Critical systems.
it's crazy to think Erudite would take a losing position just so she could just so she could be included in the debate con. She never carries on. Yeah, that's what my whole thing was the whole time. I was just like immediately, and not to poison the well. I was trying to let them get through the openings because basically after the openings the debate is over because Kyla stops. She stops debate. She never once contends with or makes an argument for why feminism is good. She attacks a position that isn't even the topic of the debate, and it's not anything that Rachel said, which was the position she was attacking is you can't lay everything at the feet of feminists and at the feet of feminism. It's like, okay, fair. Nobody said that, though. And Rachel wouldn't argue that, and neither would most anti-feminists. Most people who are anti-feminism are not going to say everything that's wrong in the world is the fault of feminism. That would just be retarded. But yeah, that's crazy. She definitely took a losing position.
By women, things like electrical grid maintenance, water treatment, food production. And a society can survive a temporary shortage of marketing ladies and HR women and kindergarten teachers, but it cannot
Where's
survive
this
a shortage of
channel,
power
dude?
grid technicians or water treatment engineers. Male labor force participation has fallen to a historic low of 69.5%. So that's almost 1 in 3 men are out of the workforce right now. So what's the labor force cost of abortion? One of the main things that feminists care about. They don't care if they have every other right. They care about abortion. It's their main measure of women's freedom. We've had 63 million abortions in the U.S. alone since Roe v. Wade. If those children had survived and joined the workforce today, we would have an additional 45 million workers in the U.S. economy. We wouldn't have to import them from other nations. The cost of abortion is 425 times larger than the earnings that the mothers would have lost by carrying the children to term. So yes, women make a little bit more when they don't have kids, but it's not even close to what you get if they had children who grew up and joined the workforce. So women's achievements in the economy are subsidized. Yep. Men pay roughly 60 to 75% of income taxes.
Yep.
Progressive tax codes use top earners, predominantly male, health infrastructure, universities, and social programs. Women get 60% of all higher education dollars because they are the majority of students on campus now. But if you look at fiscal return on that investment, governments get most of their money back from this smaller pool of male laborers, mostly because they make more money and they work more hours. So it's like a structural transfer where public services, education, and grants that enable women to enter and remain in the workforce are funded disproportionately by male tax dollars. So in conclusion, the irony is that feminism has given us broken homes, fatherless children, rising mental illness, demographic decline, and a generation in which nearly a third of Gen Z was aborted before they could ever be born. The welfare state and the she economy that prop up this illusion of strong, independent women will collapse precisely because the same policies that empower women into lower productivity roles have starved the next generation of highly skilled, critical male workers that complex first world systems demand. Feminism has done more harm than good, and the data is not subtle.
Thank you very much for that opening. I've got the timer.
What would you do?
The floor is all yours.
All right, here we go. Let's hear it.
Feminism, I'm sure you guys won't be surprised by what I say, has done more good than harm. At its core, feminism is the extension of a simple moral principle. Women are full human beings entitled to the same basic dignity, liberty, legal protection, and opportunity as men. That principle—
All right, I'll make a quick correction because I said that. She doesn't make a clear case the same way that Rachel does with facts supporting it. She makes an emotional appeal at the very beginning saying, yes, feminism good because, you know, we're all human beings. That's basically it.
The American tradition. This nation was built on lofty ideas rooted in Christian theology.
Lofty ideas.
Philosophy.
This country was built on lofty ideas. This country,
of human dignity.
Some would say the loftiest ideas. Nobody has loftier ideas than us.
Citizenship, justice, and government under law. Feminism belongs within that inheritance. No society accepts that people possess inheritance and that the law should protect their liberty. The question of women's rights becomes unavoidable. That is why feminism is necessary. In a nation committed to freedom, some form of feminism is also inevitable. Women did not begin asking for rights because a university, foundation, or political organization manufactured their dissatisfaction. They encountered the principles their civilization—
Also, if you're coming in to join if you're going to come in and like hang in the Discord, you can just join another channel. I'll drag you in. By the way, thanks, Breton.
For those principles to apply to them.
Good to see you, bro.
At the most fundamental, the feminism I am defending is the empowerment of women and the promotion of femininity as something—
Empowerment of women.
Value. It does not require women to live in one approved way. It asks that women possess enough security and authority to build—
I'm trying to post all my— we're multitasking.
It also insists that motherhood, care, and traditionally feminine contributions should not be dismissed as a lesser form of human achievement. There's an important difference between protection and dependence. A woman whose security rests entirely upon the goodwill of a father or husband may be safe when that man is ill. But human beings are fallible, as we all know. Men can be cruel, negligent, absent, or irresponsible. A legal system should not assume that every woman will always have a benevolent man standing between her and disaster. The ability to own property, retain earnings, receive an education, participate in government, and leave a dangerous marriage are not indulgences. They are safeguards against the ordinary failures of human character. Feminism did not invent abuse. It didn't invent abandonment. It did not create unhappy marriages. It gave women greater power to survive circumstances that already existed. Nor did feminism suddenly cause women to begin working. Women have always worked. I'm sure Rachel probably agrees.
Oh my gosh.
On farms, inside family
Everyone worked.
and within the home. Poor women rarely had the luxury.
More arguments that nobody made. I'll let her finish.
More women could prepare for sustained careers. Education became an investment in a future rather than an accomplishment expected to end at marriage. Women could develop the talents that earlier societies often ignored or confined in a very narrow range of uses. Society gained enormously from that change. Women became doctors, scientists, lawyers, entrepreneurs, and public officials in far greater numbers. Their intelligence could serve institutions beyond the household without ceasing to benefit their families or communities. None of this means that every feminist has been smart or wise. Some feminists have treated motherhood as a burden rather than a vocation. Others have shown hostility towards marriage, religion, men, or femininity itself. I have no interest in defending every slogan produced under the feminist label. A movement that has existed for generations includes millions of people who will contain foolishness alongside those people.
I thought that was a funny quip too. I have no interest in essentially, I have no interest in defending feminists that said things that are horrible. And it's not recent feminists. That's what kills the feminists. You know, it's not like some radical person that's, in a college professor right now. It's the people who birthed the entire movement. That's where these quotes come from. That's where the quote mining is happening. They're like, oh, you're just picking. It's like, no, these are the people who spawned it. These are people that the college professors who are insane now are quoting. They're using quotes from them, from the quote unquote first wave of feminism.
The question is whether the broad historical movement towards women empowerment, legal equality, education, and political participation has produced more good than harm? I believe the answer is clearly yes. The anti-feminist case often gathers every modern social problem and places it at feminism's feet. Divorce, failing fertility, loneliness, and declining happiness are treated as the predictable cost of women's freedom. That explanation is far too simple. The same period contained enormous economic and technological upheaval. Industrialization alone altered the household entirely. Urbanization weakened older communities.
Oh, shit.
Contraception changed family planning.
Sorry, I'm not looking at the
And the economy shifted away from manufacturing, while
Score two.
globalization and secularization changed the character of public face. Feminism participated in the modern transformation, but it did not independently cause everything that followed it. The fact that two developments occurred at the same time does not establish that one produced the other. We should consider the societies people most consistently choose to live in. The world's most prosperous, desirable nations generally possess strong legal institutions, broad access to education, political liberty, and substantial equality between men and women. It would be foolish to claim that feminism alone created their prosperity. It would be equally foolish to regard the relationship as meaningless. The nations most committed to human development tend to extend freedom and opportunity to women because both commitments arise from the same human potential should be cultivated rather than needlessly suppressed. This is part of the triumph.
The dry mouth Adderall noises is crazy, bro.
Nature of the human spirit. People want to learn and contribute. They want to build meaningful lives that they and their loved ones can live in. A society flourishes when it gives that spirit room to breathe. Great nations do not become great by permanently limiting half of their population. They become great by allowing talent and moral agency to serve the common good wherever they are found. Feminism, therefore, belongs with the broader American tradition of civil rights and equal protection. It reflects the belief that inherited hierarchy alone cannot justify domination. Choice matters because virtue requires agency. The ability to act otherwise.
She's bringing back shoulder pats again. Dude, I shared this. Oh my God. I'm surprised she didn't block me, but let me see if I can find this. Because she started was making fun of Rachel on Twitter or something like that. Like, oh, I mogged you. And I shared this. It's kind of funny. All I did was reply with this image in her replies. I don't know which one it was. It was one of the. It was like the red suit. It wasn't this. It was like the red suit one, but it was him later on. Oh, it's this one. Hold on. Can't you just open image? Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is it in all its glory. We can see the resemblance, right? I mean, oh yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, dude. So good. Like, listen, lady, don't go after anybody. Rachel looks more than fine for her age. Okay. She's a beautiful woman, especially for her age. You are on the verge of this and you're like, 10 years, 15 years younger than her. Okay. It's working for DGG right now. Okay. But it's not going to last, lady. All right. Don't attack the looks, man.
So just reflect. We cannot know which one it is when coercion has already decided the matter. The feminism I am defending tonight is not the claim that every difference between men and women is discrimination. It is the claim that women should be empowered and that femininity itself should not be treated as inferior, and that being female should not disqualify someone from full participation in society. That principle has corrected real injustices. It has made women less vulnerable to abuse. And it did. I'll jump ahead. I actually want to extend, Rachel.
God, leave it. Oh, here we go.
I'm one of the strongest anti-feminist debaters that is working today. I think I'm also probably one of the strongest defenders of feminism, or hope you would grant me the same thing. We're both intelligent women who have considered and examined many of the same questions, and we've reached radically different conclusions, and I want to understand why. I do not want this to become only a contest of statistics and whatnot, and I don't want to get rid of the debate. However, I'd like to approach the conversation in a feminine way. I want
at time.
Sure.
Well, if you want, I can give you a little, if it's like a sentence.
It's like, sure,
Rachel says, yeah, go ahead.
By that, I would like to approach it in a feminine way. And by that, I don't mean that I want Rachel and I to sit here and paint our nails and talk about our feelings. Don't worry.
But it is.
However,
but it is.
The feelings beneath, the femininity, the things that drive us beneath, as meaningful evidence for what we're trying to say.
And this is honestly, this is a good tactic that she likes to use, because if she can get you to like talk softly or like kind of like, disarm you, then she'll do a lot better. But if you get kind of like fired up and like a little blood sports, it doesn't even necessarily have to be like pure blood sports, but if you just kind of get into a heated debate, she's going to self-destruct, which is what happened here.
To flourish. We genuinely do. And that to me seems like the proper place to begin.
Thank you very much for that opening statement. NotSoErudite.
Now, some other insight that I thought was crazy to this, like maybe 2 or 3 more sentences after this, they start to barely go back and forth. Nobody, so far, very tame. Nobody has like attacked anybody. I mean, Rachel laid out a perfect art. She didn't say it. She didn't make any snarky remarks. NotSoErudite said her things. Neither of them's gotten snarky at all yet. I'm sitting beside this giant purple lady, like this lady in this big purple shirt. We're like up here somewhere, like a little like up here or something. I don't know if you can see my mouse on the stream, but it's like only like 2 or 3 rows back. We're almost at the front. And she's on the very end, and she's in this purple shirt. She's a big giant lady. She literally smells like cat piss. I like had to like readjust because my back was hurting at some point during the thing, and I leaned over and I get a whiff of like just a hint of cat piss. And I start to feel bad because I'm like, oh man, whatever. You know, that's kind of sad. You know, I feel bad for these people, the DGGers. But then she pulls out her phone right here. She pulls open Discord and she sends a message, and in the message was basically something this debate, and then it was like, so far Rachel is, and then it said being a disgusting cunt, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like nothing's even happened yet. It's literally just openers. Like these people didn't come with any intention of hearing the other side out, or even believing they could slightly be in the wrong, or maybe, you know, maybe what their picture, their view of reality or history is maybe not what they were raised to believe it is. No, nothing at all. Their minds are made up right from the beginning. They could care less what anyone's going to say. And that, I think, is what's funny about what Lonerbox said on Twitter when he did a little interview, and he's sitting outside in front of the hotel, and he's like, I can't believe these people came up and were like saying they liked that the way I put together some of my arguments. It's like, yeah, because this is debate con. The people that are going enjoy debate, regardless of the fact that they don't agree with you. So they can concede like, hey, you did like a good thing here, or like you made a good rhetorical move here. This decision to structure this way was like a good thing, even though I think you lost the debate. And I think that the people that are, you know, on our side, or whatever you want to call it, the Crucible guys, are a little more fans of debate, and a little more like we've watched our guys like lose a debate, or maybe it's a draw. I think the last time, maybe not the last time, but one of the last times that Destiny and Andrew debated, I would actually call it a draw, because I can't remember what exactly the topic was, but neither of them budged. It was an online thing. They both actually did a good job, but neither of them really, I wouldn't say either of them really won the debate. And people were actually in the comments like pissed off because they were like, this sucks. Fight. Somebody beat the shit out of somebody. But I think our guys, there are a handful of lefties that are able to do that and like, okay, concede. There's some lefties in the Discord. It's like 1 or 2 good lefties will say, okay, I agree with this position more, but the guy that was on my side did not argue it well. It's like, at least try. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy just how fast, you know, she just whipped out the phone to send the message. I was like, we haven't even gotten through openers.
With that, we'll jump into the open dialogue. We'll let this be as organic as you guys would like. So I'll let you take it from here. I'll only jump in if it gets really crazy.
Okay, so I'm actually very curious about your relationship to feminism. Like, what got you interested in feminism, and specifically concerns about feminism and its impact on society? Like,
yeah, it's like immediately coming out the gate and just, this isn't an interview. And I was actually saying this. I was leaning over to the guy beside me. I was like, This isn't a podcast. This is not a podcast, bro. This is a debate. We're not here to like ask questions about like, so like, how did you start with,
What personally in your life?
what was your journey?
Ideologically.
Well, that was a beautiful opening, and I appreciate all the sentiments therein, but none of this addresses the fact that we are about to fall off.
And sorry, she called this too. I was talking to Rachel like earlier in the day, and she was saying that like, yes, she's gonna do this, cuddly cozy thing and like want to be friends, but I'm just like, I'm gonna stay focused. Put the horse blinders on. We're coming in a debate. I'm going to debate. I'm going to make my points, and I'm going to cross-examine.
Off a demographic cliff that will make all of these beautiful, lofty sentiments
kinda crazy.
mean absolutely nothing. Because as you addressed in your opening, it's not a coincidence that feminism did not exist until the industrial and technological revolutions. You need technology and first world living standards to have this idea that we can just push women into the workforce. Everyone can follow their dreams and do what their
She
heart
gets
wants
so
them to do,
stuck on that point,
choices and all
too.
that sort of thing. But if we don't have
Yeah,
any
Girls Gone
run this
Bible.
first world standard of living, we will be like the only
crazy,
places in
dude.
the world that are still below replacement birth rates, which would be like Africa, Pakistan. That's where we're going to be if we don't solve the demographic problem. So as much as I would love to talk about how we feel and what got us into this, I'm concerned by the fact that I like air conditioning. I live in Texas, okay? I like power. I like infrastructure. And we won't have that if women don't start producing the next generation of workers who can maintain the standard that allows them to even think about whether they want to have babies or become doctors.
Okay, yeah, if you want to just do the boys' way, we can just do the boys' way.
I don't think it's inherently male to
That's the funny thing is that's the more sexist remark. That's the misogynistic remark. Oh, what? Women can't debate all of a sudden? Come on, Kyla. You coward.
have concerns about the rational
You coward.
real
It's a joke,
implications
Rachel.
of
It's
what's
a joke.
happening with
It's a
feminism.
joke. It's
Yeah,
a joke.
yeah. I don't.
Okay, so let's maybe get into the starting point then for you. So at what point, what's the period you think is most prolific for feminism really changing the she economy that you described? Is there a window of time?
Would be the 1970s.
What happened in the 1970s?
I'm glad you asked.
You're so welcome. We're
What
tag teaming
happened
this
in the
really.
70s was we had just been through the Vietnam War.
So this was so crazy too because she makes a couple points, but so clearly Kyla has done all this research to like debunk, whatever, that feminism took off in the 70s or feminism was an anchor from the 70s or something. But it's like, that's not her position. So, she says that it helped, like technological advancements helped launch everything. But she never says like feminism didn't exist before the 1970s, which I thought was funny because Kyla gets so stuck on this for
It was
such a
very
long
popular,
time.
Extremely expensive, and the U.S. Treasury needed more income tax coming in. And this was at the exact same time that the Rockefellers and the Fords created gender studies. They passed Title IX and started handing out college scholarships and funding for women to go to college. Like
She's got her graph over here. She's like waiting for the slam dunk.
Just in that decade alone, by the 90s, women were on par with men. And what happened?
We're going to have to skip some of this, though, because I don't want to spend forever on this
So
debate.
And the gold standard.
We'll be here all night.
Important too.
What's that?
Well, the gold standard got removed as well.
Sure, I don't.
Well, that's economically super important, right?
It's important, but
What
I
do you
don't
mean
think
it's important? We fundamentally changed our relationship from the gold standard to the petrodollar under Nixon in
But
1971.
that's not why women joined the economy.
But
That's
that
not why
might
women
explain economic
started.
changes, no?
No, it doesn't.
The gold standard.
Because what you're not understanding is it's about the birth rate. It's not that women working is a problem if they were still having 2.2 or 2.5 babies per woman. But when you tell women,
See, it's not only like Rachel's approaching this debate and saying, whatever, there are these things. Feminism is doing more harm. Ultimately, that's, if you keep in mind watching this, that what the topic of the debate is, what the prompt is. Yeah, Kyla got blown out. She tried her best. She tried to get a couple little clips in here. Maybe she did get a couple clips, but she lost the debate overall by a long shot. And she didn't stay on the topic or the prompt at all.
Which is the average age that a woman is having her first
See if we
child
can
now.
skip through some
That's
of
a
this.
serious problem, and we have historical examples of countries who've gone through this. Russia is a great one. They made abortion legal and paid for in state hospitals under Lenin. And it was so bad, like the demographic cliff was so bad for Russia that by the time Stalin came to
Try
power,
to find
they
one of
rolled
the
all
other
that
ones I
back.
wanted to
But
watch.
because they were communists, they wanted to push women into the workforce. You need workers to have communism. Women needed to be working. And they tried to do women workers and pronatalism at the same time. It did not work. They've
Well,
never
all
recovered
economies
the
need
birth rate.
workers, right? The most important piece of basically capital investment
Sure.
is human
Which is why
capital.
you could also look at South Korea, which is a very capitalist, Western-style economy that has also been taken over by feminism. They have 0.7 births per woman right now. There's not going to be a South Korea in the next 20 or 30 years if they don't turn it around.
I'm curious, what's the number one correlate to declining birth rates in a nation?
Women's access to higher education.
Correct. Yes, women's access. It's actually everyone's access to higher education. So I'm curious, would you consider Saudi Arabia particularly feminist?
Not particularly feminist.
Qatar?
No, No.
Okay, so the Gulf states also have declining birth rates, but feminism isn't causing that. What's happening there?
Because they've started.
Saudi Arabia, famous
Yes.
for feminizing. Qatar, famous for feminizing.
They have started letting women work. They've started allowing things like birth
Their
control.
birth rate's been
It's more
declining
subtle.
for a long time. Actually, it's below replacement
Everybody,
now.
yes, everybody in first world economies where there's urbanization, industrialization, as I explained, that's what enables feminism.
So isn't it urbanization that we're blaming here? Because
Not
I
until
feel like there's an
not
interesting
until you
thing.
push women into the workforce and they stop having kids. Again, if women were working as nurses and still having 2.5 kids per woman, I would have no problem with it. But nothing you're addressing tells me what we're going to do about this.
Well, nothing
What-
you're pointing
how is
to
your-
says it all falls at the feet of feminism, right? Like, what you're pointing
Why
to
do
right
the women
now
stop having babies?
because of
Not the argument. That's where she got stuck this whole time. That was her position that she was debating it. It's like she prepped for this argument to be you can't blame everything on feminism and something about the graphs in the 1970s and GDP and
of modern
birth rates and
through increased education. Saudi Arabia.
What's all this?
As much as you want to insist Saudi Arabia is feminist, it's certainly not. In fact, do you know why women in Saudi Arabia are pushed into education? It increases their dowry value. That's why. Because it's like
That sounds like an Islam problem.
well, Victoria, England did this as well, where essentially they view proof of education as good genetic stock, so it makes that wife a more valuable woman. So
Right,
I
but
don't know what's
nobody had a
feminist
birth
about
rate
that.
crisis in Victorian
Well,
England.
the thing that you have to disentangle here is why is Saudi Arabia having the same problems that you're falling at the feet of feminism? And I'm saying it looks more like modernization might be the problem here. And Saudi Arabia certainly has both modernization, but it certainly doesn't offend women.
And I really wish this whole time I was like, ask her how this makes her case that feminism is good. That's what I kept thinking. I was just like, ask her why, because the topic is feminism doing more harm or good? You're not. She barely says anything about that and tries to say why feminism is good. She just attempts to attack Rachel's position the entire time.
So you're going to have to
It just
answer
doesn't
The
work.
United Nations both say that the main correlate for declining birth rates is sending women to college and sending them to work.
I didn't
And
disagree with that.
As a mother
That's just
of
not
5,
feminism,
as a mother of
necessarily.
5, you cannot have more than maybe one child and work full time because you have to outsource motherhood to daycare, which
Why?
is expensive. What do you mean why?
Why do we have the runaway cost issues in America?
Runaway what?
Cost issues in America.
It's not runaway cost issues. It's
It's not affordable right now.
that
It's
you
tougher.
can't make daycare cheap enough to offset the cost of a woman working full time. That's not.
That is true.
How are you going to make daycare cheap enough that a woman can have 5 babies and work a full-time job? And why would you want that?
Well, the
Why
issue-
don't we want mothers? Any mothers here love having to send their kids to be raised by someone else all day? Do you
Well, the
guys
question
like that?
again, you can narrativize, but the question I'm actually trying to pose you and get an answer.
You can narrativize.
In the 70s, as you claim.
Is that a word?
Women have becoming dual income earners. What changed in families? What was going on? And you're
you
like,
ask-
the gold standard.
Are you
That
asking
doesn't
what?
matter.
No, I'm telling you exactly what happened, and this is not me. This is the U.S. Department of Labor, the U.S. Department of Commerce. All the sources in my slides say that in the 70s.
Oh my God, I can't type with this big fat fucking splint on my finger.
At the same time that they had passed birth control legislation making it legal, and not only that.
There's no way that's a real word. That's a real word?
Wait, now everybody can get an abortion.
Damn, dude.
At the same time, you start pushing through the culture through a massive propaganda campaign, through things like remember the Stepford Wives movies, remember the Mary
I'll give her that
Tyler
one.
Show? The 70s were just saturated with girl boss empowerment stuff. I was born in 1980.
I totally
Madonna,
thought she just made that up.
telling women that motherhood is a ball and chain, that the smart girls go to college and have their own money and they don't need a man. So you've got this cultural propaganda campaign, you've got government money subsidizing college, which is why it's so expensive, by the way. And then
So-
you've got birth control and abortion. So the trend becomes, go get your bag, go get your career. Men are icky and bad, they're going to abuse
True.
you. Children are a ball and chain, they're going to hold you back. You need to go to work.
Sure,
And that's
so-
what women do. They
Still haven't gotten an answer to the Gulf states. Seems like that one is just
still
like
haven't gotten an answer to
mysterious
how you're going to do
Islamic.
feminism with no more
And she found this one. She found like this one example where it's not a feminist country or like a pro-feminist country, but also the birth rates are declining. But it's like, and she does it later on. But it's like, even if I grant everything that you're saying here, all of your criticisms right now, grant sure every single one. No, it's not all feminism's fault. Sure, it's not. The birth rates are not entirely dependent on whether or not a country's feminist. Although the exception doesn't prove the rule. You know, I mean that's really all you say to that. But even if you grant everything, how are you making the case, or how does any of that make the case that feminism is doing more good? Because that's supposed to be your position that you're arguing.
Rachel, you have to let me talk for us to have a conversation.
Never heard that word before, yo.
Right, so let's talk a
Yeah,
little bit
bro.
about the 70s.
I'm getting educated.
Go ahead, Kyla.
Oh, if you want Rachel to just monologue, I can just sit here if you want. But if you want the debate and show, I have to participate too. So let's talk a little bit about the 70s. So the 70s is where, what did you say, what percentage increase?
I think too, like I want somebody to go back and like time this because I'm almost certain Kyla talked more. Just from the very opening, from here till then. I mean, she was like spurging out.
How are you going to make daycare cheap enough that a woman can have 5 babies and work a full-time job. And why would you want that?
Well,
Why don't we want mothers? Any mothers here love having to send their kids to be raised by someone else all day? Do you
Well, the
guys
question
like that?
again, you can narrativize, but the question I'm actually trying to put income earners. What changed in families? What was going on? And you're like the gold standard.
Are you
that
asking
doesn't
what?
matter.
No, I'm telling you exactly what happened. And
Didn't
this is
say
not me.
that.
This is the U.S. Department of Labor, the U.S. Department of Commerce, all the
Ask her a question.
That in the 70s, the reason was because we had a huge income tax.
I think this is when they like go to the
At the
2
same time that
minutes.
They had passed, now everybody can get an abortion. Stepford Wives, 1980, with She-Ra and Madonna, and cultural propaganda campaign. You've got government money subsidizing.
Okay, she was kinda cooking.
They
Still haven't gotten an answer to.
Mysterious economic feminism with no more babies.
Rachel, you have to let me talk for us to have a conversation, right? I'm letting you speak. Give me some space to speak as well, right? So let's talk a little bit about the 70s.
Go ahead, Kyla.
The glitter cup was actually cracking me up too.
I have to participate too. So
No, I didn't slam it in a car door. I was on a boat. I was like on a tube on the back of a boat. My finger got caught in the handle, and then it fucking yanked my finger and broke the top of it.
Female labor
kinda
force
gay.
participation went way up in the 70s. So the biggest jump, and then it continued in the 80s and 90s.
Yes,
And now we
yes,
have
so-
about equal.
I got this mug splint it up, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. This is a graph. This is a very, very wonderful graph that makes your point look true. This is your point, okay? So we've got 1975, we've got 39% from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay, you're gonna love it. And by 1990s, we have that almost 20% jump to 58%. And look how steep that looks. Very spooky, spooky graph. The issue with cherry-picked data is that if you zoom out and include all data that's relevant, suddenly spooky lines don't look so spooky. In the 70s, nothing magically happened at all, actually. We had a consistent trend of women since the 1950s going into workplace, particularly married women, because unmarried women always participate in the workforce.
Yes.
If you actually want a spooky graph with a big jump, the major point when women entered the workforce at astronomical numbers, with a 10% leap in like 4 years, is this graph. It was World War II. This is the only notable moment. If you'll notice on this graph, it's all the same trend line. So if you're going to blame
Well, what
everything
happened? Wait a minute.
hold on, let me finish my thought, then you can attack it. If you're going to blame everything from 1970s forward, you're going to have a tough time because the data shows that it's the identical trend since the 1940s. And if you zoom out 200 years, you get this graph, which is a U. So once you actually look at the whole...
And again, maybe it's boring, but just keep asking this stupid wench. How does this tell me that feminism is doing more good? Because nobody is saying that every single trend in the world, the birth rates, the dollar losing value, the whatever, like every single thing is not to be placed at the feet of feminism. Yeah, sure. Nobody would even argue that.
Nothing remarkable happened in the 1970s.
You gotta pay for that finger repair in the U.S. Right?
1970s.
Shit, I didn't pay for this shit. If I went to the damn doctor for this shit, I guarantee you they would charge me like all together, like going there, getting an X-ray, getting the fucking splint from them, getting some painkillers or something. It probably cost me like $1,800, dude. And I don't even know if that's. I think that may be like spot on the money. I don't think I'm exaggerating too much, and I don't think it would be much cheaper, but I didn't go to the doctor though. I just put my own splint on it from the store.
Here's my
So good.
It's just your typical debate.
Because it's just this top knuckle, like nothing they can do for it. I mean, and even if it was severe enough that they needed to like go in and put a screw, I'm not paying for surgery on my fucking finger. I'll just have a fucked up finger.
I just want to be clear. If you don't know words,
Happened to this?
That would make it hurt worse.
Okay,
I just want to be very clear before
I
we get
thought
to
we
the
were
personal.
gonna take turns. I
Well,
thought
if
we
we're
were
going to get to
gonna
the personal
back and
insults, I'm just going to quickly respond.
I didn't insult you. I just pointed
Pop
out that
quiz
your
Kyla.
strategy
Good
is to
compliment.
pop
Notorious
quiz your
compliment.
opponent. It's something you do in every debate.
So thank you. The front loading.
Thank you. Wait. Pop quiz Kyla, which is not it isn't an insult. It's just her style of debate. Did you know about this? Did you know about that? Did you know about this? It's typical. It's her thing. But then she's like, if you're going to insult me, and then she's like, no, it's your style of debate. And then she's like, thank you.
Saying my opponent Kyla will just happen to know.
Tweaking, bro. She's tweaking.
To the actual point.
I mean,
know
I'll
you
take
wanted
it.
to have a girl debate, but I would like to stick
No,
to
you said the boy
actual
debate. So
argument.
here we are, baby girl. You want the boy debate? We're here.
Yeah,
Do you want the debate?
So what happened in the 1970s? Again, that's so magical.
What happened after World War II?
What happened
To all
after
those
World
women
War
who
II?
went to
That was her like 8 simps that realized that they were actually there, and they were like, oh shit, yeah, we should like clap or something. She like said something. This will be a clip.
Again,
What
that's
happened?
so magical.
What happened after World War II?
What happened
to all
after
those
World War
women
II?
who went to work?
They
What
s-
did they do?
it
Did
went
they go
down-
back home?
5%.
Yes, they did.
What,
They went back
5%?
home.
And
Dude, this guy, I'm so glad this guy is in camera.
What happened?
This dude right here in the bottom corner, he turned around at some point and like gave somebody like some death stare because they were saying, I don't know, they said something about Rachel.
So magical.
What happened after World
It's kind of
War II?
funny.
What happened
All
after
those
World
women
War
who
II?
went to work.
They-
What did
That was
they do?
cracking
They
me
went
up.
home.
I was like, dude, give it a rest. James will kick him out.
Yes, they did.
What,
They went back
5%?
home.
And then look, the same line of best fit from before World War II. Because you know what made women go back into workplace? Access to new technology.
Drugs.
That made it easier to go back to the workplace.
Of course,
That's what
I
made them go back.
already, you haven't heard me say this the 3 times I've heard it. Industrialization and technology allowed for this. Yes, obviously.
But we wanna
That
throw it
doesn't
at the feet of
address my
feminism.
point. That doesn't address the point.
No, nobody wants to throw every single thing at the feet of feminism. The debate topic is it doing more good or more harm, you freaking ding dong?
Of what you're going to do about the demographic cliff we're about to fall off of. Do you understand how you can possibly have...
It'd be 30K. Insurance will save me 20. Oh, yeah, true.
I'll ask my question after.
Yeah, out of pocket.
I interrupt you.
Nah, out of pocket, I think it would be more than 700. I was thinking about this. It might have been like 500 to 700
None of this.
like 10 years ago, but in this economy,
You certainly don't want to.
in this economy,
We're talking about here is that, yes, thanks, James. Nothing you're saying addresses the fact that we are about to have a collapse of our first world standard of living. This economy
collapse.
is ubiquitous across all Western nations. In fact, it's so
Ubiquitous.
prevalent across all of them that it's kind of crazy. Like
dropping them
Canada,
big ass
the
words.
GDP numbers that the United States has.
Hey, what that word mean?
Europe has. Which is when you push women to go to college and have careers and have their own money and be financially independent, they listen and they do that. And they say, if that's what's expected, I'm not going to have kids. Now, again, we can go back and prove this is what happened in Russia, and it didn't matter how many pronouns.
I don't know if I can make it all the way through this debate.
If I work full time, I can't have 3 or 4 kids. It doesn't work. You look at South Korea, same thing. They don't have communism. They don't have pronatalism. It's a capitalist Western-style economy, and they can't even reproduce.
And I low-key wanted to go through this whole debate, but
problem that arguing over the gold standard of the 70s or women should have choices. First of all, they've always had choices. Second of all,
just less.
if you don't address this problem, you can kiss feminism goodbye. You won't have it.
But that's the thing. That's what she doesn't understand, and that's what like. And they even tried to bring this up just briefly, not to like get into it, but I think it was brought up as a point. That's what women don't understand about like the force doctrine argument and all this stuff. What she just said there when that little snide remark she makes whenever she's like, yeah, women always had rights, and she's like, yeah, just not as many. It's like, that's never going to change. So long as men and women have the biological predispositions that they have, so long as they have the genetic, advantages or disadvantages that they have. Okay. What are you saying in the chat? Antoine, shut up. Shocked I wasn't on Erudite side. Yeah, so long as they have we have the biological advantages that we have, okay? Unless tomorrow, somebody puts something in the fucking water and everybody, you know what I mean? They turn the frogs gay, all right? Men will always have, quote unquote, more rights than women. And it's not because everybody just hates women. It's because we are the operators of all the force. We're the drivers of all the force. You guys have heard this shit.
It won't exist. There's this really famous, actually, you introduced me to this recently.
Kill you, Antoine.
You cite him a few times. There's a great conversation that the anti-suffragettes had where they insisted that, oh my God, if the feminists, if all this happens, the world is going to collapse. People have been insisting that the world is going to collapse in the next 10 years. I mean, they're like climate people as well. We're insisting that we're going to die in the next 10 years as well. It's just fear-mongering that's not typically based in reality. Now, I know you want to run away from information that is disconfirming of your narrative, but you still need to deal with the...
It isn't, though. We can grant you everything, which she does later on, and it's like, brother, grant everything. Tell me how feminism is doing more good. Make me the case. We laid out the case for you. This is why it's bad. What do you have? Nothing.
It's not feminism.
Is that a first world country you want to live in?
No, I want to live here, which has feminism and a booming GDP and one of the best countries on the earth. That's why I'm here.
Well, what are
my GDP?
Yeah, it's great right now, but your field of psychology that you got your degree in is so over.
They did get a good 8 people.
All women, it's like 80,
That's pretty good.
women.
Not gonna deal with the Gulf though.
What about when women get cyberware in the cyberpunk future? We're all just cooked by then, anyways.
It does. All women, it's like
We're all just gonna go into the matrix at that point. Okay, so it's not actually gonna matter.
80% women.
Well, some of us aren't. I'm not going in. Okay, but
Adderall. It doesn't address.
hey, that was me.
Adderall.
This is the lady I was talking about, dude. Oh my gosh. Poor lady. She was not having a good time. She kept turning her back like away because like me and the dude that were beside the guy that was beside me, we were having a blast. We were like kind of like whispering, making funny comments to each other and stuff. What a good time. Dude, why? He is not. He looks like he's about to fall asleep, dude.
It doesn't address.
That was a nice guy, though. I met him. We talked a lot. The guy was cool as hell.
Women into work and telling them to be career women like you, and then they don't have children. How are you going to perpetuate the next generation? Do you realize that the complex systems first world economies rely on can only suffer about a 5% loss of skilled male workers? And right now, in this country and all across the West, we have all of the Gen X and Boomer.
Oh my God, they sound like they're talking in slow motion now.
Keep the power grid up and running. Like, these are highly skilled things. You can't just get someone from Pakistan, put them in a 6-week course or whatever, and make them a power lineman. You can't do that. These men are not replaceable.
He just shit her pants. What does that mean? Wait, you mean right now, or you mean like at the debate? Brent, don't encourage Antoine, okay? I'm not going to be
We have water lines in LA that are 100 years old, blowing up all over the place. What, 6 or 7 of them in the last 2 weeks?
mutinized, okay? No mutiny in this channel here.
For 5 minutes straight with multiple points. I want to talk about all of them. Question. How are you going to solve the birth rate crisis? Answer mine first. There's no future without
nice.
How do you reconcile the fact that you're claiming in the 1970s feminism infused a bunch of women to the workplace, but we actually see the largest boom of women. Hold on, I'm not done. I'm not done. The largest boom of women in
True.
is right before the golden age of capitalism.
That's what I was
When
saying.
the American currency becomes the gold world.
That's what I was saying. Grant it all.
You want to blame it at the 1970s? What actually magically happened?
I know that's what makes it so hard. It's like Kyla's like still Adderalled out, and so that makes Rachel seem like she's talking slow, but she's not.
Actual data, nothing transformative happened.
Let's do 1.5.
By the 1950s, right? We have the Triffin dilemma, which is a much better understanding of.
The Triffin dilemma, dude.
If you don't know the word, just ask. Just saying. Okay, the Triffin dilemma is a huge issue that causes massive trade deficits for America, and it causes an issue where people are always going to want to invest in America because, frankly, we're the best. We're the best at everything. So again, if you're going to say it's the 1970s,
We just call that. We don't need fancy fucking names for that, okay? We just call that being on top, okay? We call that being the greatest to ever do it. We call that fucking bald eagle noises, all right? Insert bald eagle screech. That's what we call that. It's not a fucking dilemma, okay? It's not a dilemma for us, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you're going to use our money. Forget about it. I think somebody else brought up a group of trilemma. That was kind of funny.
No, that's not. That was not in any way a pillar or linchpin of my.
Whoa!
Birth rates have declined since industrialization.
Hey, look, no gay shit in the chat, okay?
1970s. I have already. Maybe you mean those 70s.
Wait, did we get a good?
All right.
Did we get a good view of this lady? No, not really. Poor lady, dude. I honestly still feel sorry for her, but I just couldn't believe how. I mean, it was like instant. They got like 2 sentences after, like 2 or 3 sentences back and forth after their openers, and this lady immediately pulls out her phone and was just like, "Rachel's being a disgusting cunt." I was like, "Oh my God, dude."
When she's done, then I'll talk.
All right. I do want to make sure there's not too much interrupting. So
Let's do a game. We both talk for 2 minutes at a time. We'll have timers. How about that?
She did call it. That's funny, dude. I couldn't remember if like somebody suggested it and then maybe she accepted it. I remember looking over. She seemed miserable. Yeah, it was unfortunate.
I appreciate that, but I'm okay with keeping it.
Because she did it to herself. It's like, I mean, look, dude, you go to these things, you know that there's going to be people there opposing you, and the opposition is going to say things, and it's like, but dude, you're there for the debate, man. WrestleMania. I know she does immediately disregard it. It's bad. But I mean, look, dude, we respect the other side. We know the other side is going to make at least a couple good points or a couple little flourishes, you know. They're going to get their little clips out, but ultimately our guys are going to crush them, man. This is how it always goes. This is how it's been going for the past, I don't know, however many years. That's why Andrew was on Rogan and shit. That's just how it's been going.
as long as there's not too much interrupting.
Mrs. Turner, is it my turn to
Well-
speak? Can I
I'm actually being sane right now. You talk for 7 minutes straight with multiple
Let's
points.
do 2 minutes. It's fine. I have
Well, sure.
one
I just want to. Let's go point by
All
point.
right, you guys agree on that? That's progress. All right. You guys
Also,
are both
you're
okay
welcome-
with 2
you're welcome
minutes.
to interrupt
I'm
me, like,
setting
when
the
you need to.
timer. Give me 1 second. And Rachel, you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
So the whole you're totally fighting a straw man. You completely made up this idea that my whole argument rests on something fundamental.
Okay, you know what? I'll give her that. I thought that Kyla was the first one to accuse of straw man, even though for sure Kyla is doing the straw manning 100%. It's like without a doubt. Because Andrew, Rachel's, the topic of the debate is feminism doing more good or more harm? Rachel is sticking to that topic and sticking to that prompt and saying it's doing more harm. She lays out a case. Erudite just says, well, you can't blame everything on feminism. And there's like this one country where like the birth rates are declining, but they're anti-feminist. So like nothing is feminist fault, which is just, I don't know what her pro side would be. I just know she's attacking the idea that everything can be laid at the feet of feminism, which nobody's fucking arguing.
Changing the subject. I'll just grant everything you said.
Oh, dude, we were all having a great time, man.
Birth rates have been on the decline since industrialization. I didn't say that no women ever worked before the 70s. I said that's the point where it really accelerated and took off and became mainstream.
This was a
So
blowout, dude.
Now, if you're a stay-at-home mom, that's the weird, creepy thing. That's when that changed. Doesn't matter. It started in the 1800s with industrialization, urbanization, and women going to work. Yes, that's when the birth rates began to decline.
I remember when I went to work.
Sexual liberation stuff, whether it's no-fault divorce, birth control pills, abortion, the overall thing, and the only thing that matters in this argument is what are we going to do about demographics? Because it doesn't matter what they're doing in Saudi Arabia. It doesn't matter when the gold standard happened. It doesn't matter when or how women got into the workforce. We are now in a position where all Western nations are in the exact same boat, that when you shove all the women into the workforce and tell them this is what you need to be doing and focusing on, and you need a two-income household now to survive, no one has babies.
Yeah, we all girl bossing it
Yeah, I think that we
and
absolutely
shit.
Kyla, just to be clear, I'm going to give you full 2 minutes if you want to use all of it.
If I start listing off like a bunch of points, just interrupt me. It's pretty simple.
No,
I don't know,
no,
guys. I know
we're
conversations are
We're
hard
not-
for like the autism in the
we're
room.
not-
That's how
we're
they
not
can
going
work.
back. It was your idea to do the 2 minutes.
It
Let's
was
give
hard
this a
on it.
try.
Sure.
Right after, I mean, literally right after. I didn't realize it was that quick, Antoine. I couldn't remember how fast it was, but it literally was. Hey, let's do 2 minutes and then 2 minutes. And then they switched to 2 minutes and 2 minutes. And right after Rachel does her 2 minutes, she's like, I mean, you can just like interrupt me or whatever.
I'll take 2 minutes.
When are we going to get American Nacho on a debate con card? I would do a debate con like debate, but I mean, my problem is with any debates right now, even just like little fucking on the internet shit, I just can't put the time into prepping for a debate right now. Like for real. I'm just, dude, the wife and kids, work. And then I got some other personal shit going on. It's good. It's overall good, but it's time consuming. I think I might have even told you, Antoine. I can't remember who. I was talking to a couple people about it at DebateCon. But overall, it's a good thing. But right now, it's going to be very time consuming and financially like consuming. So once that shit is done, then we'll be good to go. And the kids are going to get older and shit. And it's going to be more manageable. I was talking to Andrew about this shit, and just having kids and doing a little bit of this, trying to keep up with the channel and just trying to do a little something here and there. Dude, I'm like, I don't know how you did this and launched your whole thing, because you're basically working 2 jobs. I mean, if you want to like do it seriously, because I don't want to go out there and get my ass kicked. I had quite a bit. We had a good time, dude. I don't remember. Actually, no. I remember most of it, but like definitely the night we went out for barbecue, towards the end of the night at the bar, dude, we were pretty tipsy. It was a lot of fun. Dude, I remember. I definitely remembered. Okay. But the problem was that I was meeting and talking to a lot of people, and then other people were coming, and then I was like getting people mixed up. So I was like forgetting, but I know, dude. I was like, dude, you got to see it from my perspective. a bunch of people know me because I do put my face on the, you know what I mean? And a lot of you guys are like anonymous. So I'm like thinking of Discord names and then IRL names, and it gets fucking confusing. Okay. So sorry, but I do remember. As soon as I saw your face, I was like, oh yeah, I remember you. I remember faces for sure. But then I'm like, fuck, dude, I can't place your name.
We can do that.
No,
It's
no,
gonna be
I'm
a terrible
saying,
conversation.
well, no, what I'm saying is, like, Rachel took 1:40 or so, and then she let you go for your 2 minutes. If you want to use a minute.
I want 10 seconds.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Oh, I know. I'm so fast.
All right, but I'm
It's
going
the
to
Red
kick it
Bull.
over to Rachel. Use 2 minutes.
You just said industrialization is when women started going to work. That's false. Industrialization is when women stopped going to work. That's when women workforce participation declined in the 1800s.
Yeah, Breton. Wait, Breton, which one are you going to? The most recent next one, or like the next one that Andrew's at? Dude, I would do some golf. Also, by the way.
So
Hard for your narrative.
it's no. When you talk about women working, nobody thinks that working on your family farm,
my
or your
chat's
family
delayed.
business with your husband and your dad and everyone.
Next one in Texas? Okay, yeah.
We're talking about dad leaves the house in the morning and goes to his business.
Yeah, that was really cool too. There was plus there was a bunch of people coming over to Andrews, and I was like meeting a bunch of new people, so that was really cool. So that was fun. And yeah, definitely was, you know, as soon as it hit 5:00 each night, I was getting a little beers in me. We were having a good weekend. So maybe able to do it. Yeah, I would like to try to do Orlando just because I want to go out there for Jay, support Jay. And Orlando's not too terribly far of a drive for me. And I have friends and family that live down there, so I could probably crash with somebody and not have to worry about like getting a hotel or anything. It's just close to this one, and I'm like, I need a break. When is it? Oh, December's. Yeah, Austin is going to be a little more like much, dude. I'm trying to see when they are. Do they have everything up for them yet? Where do they have all this stuff? Modern day debate. Okay, where are we at? We're at DebateCon 9. Do they have it all set up yet? Oh, they do. Oh, they got apostate prophet, David Wood. Yeah, I kind of want to go to that one because Jay Dyer and David Wood is going to be pretty good. This one is basically all religion, seems like. Yeah, this is all religion. Oh, do they not even have like a price yet or anything? Golly, son. James, you gotta chill on these. There ain't no way. There's no way you're getting these without Andrew or a bigger draw. No offense to Jay. Jay's a big draw, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe is David Wood that big of a draw? I don't know. Bro, all access is crazy. Yeah, it's probably going to be circular. Ew. It's kind of crazy. I mean, the all access, listen, I think the best, Nashville was the best, dude. That's probably why I don't remember Nashville as much, Antoine, to be honest. Plus, I met so many people in Nashville. There was so many people in Nashville. And I was like hanging out, and I'm like over there hanging out with like Jim Bob and Jake and fucking Andrew. So I'm like seeing a bunch of people come up and fucking say hello and shit. Yeah, dude, it's like 100 fucking people that I never met before, and I was like, what the fuck? No. Seriously, Breton. Nashville was peak. Nashville was perfect. That was like the perfect VIP all access experience. Like they had fucking the damn 5-on-1 shit going on. They're doing like a debate over here in this room. They got the damn lunch, and you got buffet style dude. They had so much. Yeah, Nashville's. I told Andrew, I was like, even after this one, I was like, bro, honestly, I was like, because he was like, this might have been one of the best ones. I was like, no, it wasn't. He was like, what? And I was like, Nashville. I was like, Nashville is the gold standard. I was like, if every event was how Nashville was, with the food and like the extra room to film, like the 5-on-1s and like the 1v1s, and then this, and then do the debate over here and do the like fucking, yeah, that was perfect. The food at Nashville was good. The food the first day at fucking at Dallas, that shit sucked, bro. The lunch was literally just like fucking nasty ass subs, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. After that, it got better. All right, the dinner was better and the shit was better the next day. But maybe I think going to Nashville first ruined it for me, because Nashville just did it peak, bro. Yeah, they do. They do need to make it bigger. They need to get bigger venues too. I think that's part of the problem too. Like if they did it, that hotel that they just did it in, I don't think they need to do it at that venue. Just because there's not enough space, the lighting is kind of dog shit. I mean, well, there's enough space, but like there needs to be 2 separate rooms. Yeah, I would only do that, Antoine, if you have to tell them it's got to be just like Nashville. You need to find the venue, find the food. You know what I mean? It's got to be just like Nashville, because I think that's the gold standard. If all of them were like Nashville, you could get that VIP all access prices all day. Nobody would have a problem paying those. If it dips a little bit, like this one was, like I said, it wasn't, not like it was bad. It was fucking epic. It was still a lot of fun. But as far as the modern day debate side, you know what I mean? Andrew's always going to do his thing, renting out a bar and fucking feeding everybody and getting everybody, hammered. But as far as the modern day debate side, yeah, like if they do it, they need to do it like Nashville every time, and that'll be perfect.
That's post-industrial. Nobody thinks that agrarian pre-industrial society where you're working the farmstead with your husband, women going to work. They were having 7 babies on average before industrialization per woman. That was fine. Even post-industrialization could have been possibly sustainable had we not introduced sexual liberation, sending women to college, delaying the first birth until you're 31. That is doom. It's demographic doom, and you don't have a way out of it, and you don't have an answer for it, which is why you want to talk about anything else. Speaking of wanting to talk about anything else, still haven't gotten an answer to the 1970s question, which again,
I granted it.
You can laugh.
I granted it.
It is a hinge point of your narrative.
It's not.
It's not.
When? I asked you when.
You're completely right about the 70s.
The narrative is feminism is doing more harm than good. That's it. True. And Nashville's much closer to me too. Really, Antoine, I feel like the opposite. Actually, I feel like Kyla looked a lot more feminine online, and then in person. Wait, did you say the same thing? Oh yeah, you did. Never mind. I agree. We agree. In online, she looks like a lot more feminine, and she looks softer features and stuff. I guess she knows how to do her makeup and shit to be on camera. Because I felt the same way when I went on Tim Pool and I was like sitting across from her. I was like, Bro, she looks like a hockey player. She looks like a
Full point for you.
she looks like a bald eagle.
Just so the speakers can be heard, I do need you to keep it.
Look at the beak on that. Look at the beak on that thing. No, way hotter on camera.
Quiet in the audience. Is not so erudite. You have 2 minutes if you want to use it.
Dude, her hair looked crazy on the I don't know if it was just me. What was that? I think I'm unplugging something. Her hair looked crazy on that. Maybe I'm misremembering it. It was like gelled up to the max, son. Look at this thumbnail, dude. Your boy.
Like mandated, like the government's forcing you.
They did not look like this in person. In person, it looked like the 90s when you put too much gel in it and it starts to get like stringy. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Otherwise, we kick it back to Rachel for 2 minutes.
No, I'll use my 2 minutes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Antoine, I put that up earlier. Did I steal that from you from the Discord? I put it on her. Dude, something is like disconnecting and reconnecting. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you guys hear that or not. Is it my camera? Wait, was I really? Is that my own history? Hey, I'll be searching myself. It's probably because I looked up today, right now, like when I started the stream, I needed to look myself up so I could like edit the channel. Hold on. Yeah, we put up this one earlier. There we go. Dude, that's actually a good angle, too. That's like perfect angle. It's pretty good. Wait, what does it look like on here? Hold on. Oh, it's not even showing it. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. Hold on. Well, I can't put it beside her. But I have to add another window. For the memes, dude. What is that? Brother. All right, that's not right either. Dude, I promise I know what I'm doing. Here we go. There we go. Perfect, dude. This is good. Just saying. 1 for 1. I can split the tab, but it wouldn't let me do it. Shoulder pads, though? I mean, they coming back, baby. All right, enough of that.
So the Gulf states, again, so the reason why you're acting like this isn't relative at all is because it's bad for your narrative, right? For example, Japan. Do you think that Japan...
I think the only thing Rachel missed here is she should have asked her, like, what is my narrative? What do you think you're debating right now? What do you think we're arguing about? Because it's fucking not what you think it is.
highly feminist country?
Yes, it's highly modern and industrial.
Post
Women are-
1970s?
Women are absolutely expected to work in Japan.
Post 1970 specifically is when that feminist infusion really came
I don't
out.
know. I'm
Gotta
not
pick a date.
sure.
If your
I'm
whole
not sure
narrative-
exact
if your
timeline of
whole-
Japan.
if
So
we wanna
doesn't
say-
matter to my argument at all.
You don't have to pick a date. If the argument is feminism is doing more harm, you don't actually have to pick a date.
If we want to say for 2
Completely
minutes.
If your entire narrative.
I mean, I guess the inception of feminism or whatever, but
Pushing back the 2 minute.
uh-oh. My camera's frozen. Oh, is it my camera that was fucking up? Oh, it was. Are we back? Damn, son. All right, we're back. So scuffed, dude.
To her. Is it, do you want to go with the 2 minutes?
So if I ask her one question, now you're going to give her 2 minutes. That's
This
what we
was
want to
your
do?
idea, Kyla.
Yeah, Kyla, you
deferred to you, and she accepted your idea of 2
I'm not
minute
playing
back
the
and
same
forth.
as James. This is silly. Sure, I guess every question I ask you, you get 2 minutes. That seems ridiculous, but if that's how you want to moderate things, go off.
Was it you?
Brother, if you're insisting she answer a question, then you gotta give her 2 minutes to answer, you ding dong.
Who asked for 2 minute responses?
Sardonically, yes.
And
Yeah.
Rachel deferred to you.
Sardonically? What does that mean, bro? Hey, what that word mean? Hey, you can't go. And then you participated in it for
Is okay with it. So that's what we're doing.
20 minutes.
If you want, you can say, hey, can we do 60 seconds?
You could have just said sarcastically too, you freak.
But you already brought up the 2 minute response.
Okay,
idea.
let's talk about the 1970s since you're not going to answer the question and your narrative does hinge on it. Your argument is fundamentally this. In the 1970s, in fact, I believe your quote was in the 1970s.
Wait.
Hinge on it. Your argument is fundamentally this. In the 1970s, in fact, I believe your quote was.
No, that's what she should have just. I know they're supposed to be doing like 2 minute, but she should have just cut her off right there and been like, "That's not my argument. My argument is feminism is doing more harm."
In the 1970s, something changed, and it wasn't these various economic factors that
That
we've
was
been
my
seeing
quote
for the
on
last
Joe
50
Hold on, we have
years.
to give her a chance. Go ahead, Kyla.
I didn't say that here, but I said that on Joe Rogan.
Correct. You also said it
All
here.
right. Kyla, go ahead, finish your point.
Okay. In the 1970s, which is what you hinged it to in this conversation.
Joe Rogan mentioned.
Feminists
Clip
were
it.
infusing women's
Clippers.
rights when the she economy began. You did say that. In the 1970s.
The Joe Rogan clippers are out in
What
force.
happened is called the Quiet Revolution. That's what you're citing. Claudia Golden's work, which, by the way, I chatted to her before this conversation. She loves your book, by the way.
Gummiest. That's a good way to describe them. Yeah. But not like gummiest. The scummiest, slipperiest. Pig snakes. Slithering on the ground. Gummiest is a good way to describe it. I like that. Unremarkable people. They are, yeah, they're like you're missing your dentures though. Like you need dentures gummy, not like, you know what I mean. Not like gummy bears gummy, but
1970s, there was a revolution, not in an infusion of women in the workplace in the 70s. That was the same since the 40s. It's been a consistent trundle up. What was different
that's actually good though. It's actually accurate.
pre the Quiet Revolution,
If you're thinking of like people who are missing their teeth,
for women because they understood they would have
they're
to work
gummy
hard to get
people.
things. After the 1970s, they went, I think I could get an education and get long-term career prospects. So that's what's changed in the 1970s, that you're blaming all of the economic
Dude,
downturn
does she have a bald
on economic
spot?
problems. So that's what's changed in the 1970s.
She
that you're
losing her
blaming all
hair?
of the economic downturn, which I agree, there's a lot of economic problems on. with
Dude, women need to stop dyeing their hair. Isn't she? Is she not? I don't even think she's like. Doesn't she dye her hair black?
Not feminism. The 1970s, the economic problems that started there is connected to the gold standard and the Triffin dilemma.
All right, we can kick it back to Rachel. Both speakers have been told by the audience.
The
to shut up.
Triffin dilemma.
Bob, if you can do me a favor, come to the front. Is the next time someone does something like that, we're going to take them out of here, regardless of which speaker they're saying it to. All right, Rachel, 2 minutes.
So it wouldn't matter to me and to my argument whatsoever if Martians came down in 1910 and told the women to go join the workforce, and that's when it happened or how it happened or why. It doesn't matter to my argument one bit. How,
That's funny.
when, or why.
Gummiest
It
works,
doesn't
though,
matter.
too.
Every nation on planet Earth, when you send all the women into the workforce in huge numbers, they stop having kids. And what happens is what happened to Russia, what happened to China, what happened to South Korea, which is you don't have a future anymore.
Yeah, but
There's
she's
no
like,
generation to continue on. There is no future if you
how old is she?
So if you think you can continue,
I think she's younger than me. Bro, I'm a boomer. I'm 33.
world, industrialized.
I know she's younger than me.
Moved here for, 'cause you love the United
I
States.
think,
So we
anyways.
have
What's up,
problems.
Chris?
I'm not blaming like economic problems on women. I'm saying
Chris
it's
Topher.
extremely inefficient, and it's basically all propped up by men's tax dollars, as I proved in my opening. But it wouldn't matter. Like I could just grant everything you're saying. It wouldn't affect my argument whatsoever because we still have this problem.
Crazy.
Which is, do you want a future with human beings in it, or do you want more crumble cookies and more psychologists and more interior designers at the cost of a future
The
that
nation.
maintain first world infrastructure and complex systems that feminism relies on?
Gotcha.
She's 32 or 33? Okay. My wife's got a thick ass head of hair though. She's only a year younger than me.
And I agree, a lot of these are legitimate problems.
I think she dyes it, bro. I think that's why.
Feminism, as you did in your intro statement. I'm going to say to you,
That's not what, brother. We're making the case that feminism is doing more harm. She laid out many different things, many different things. Kyla latched. She latched on to one or two things and then was like, "That's not feminism's fault." It's like, okay, we can grant that. Still, are you going to make a case for why feminism is good?
I think things are
No. Spoiler alert, she never
For
does.
example, as we've already agreed, although I think you forgot, it's not when you send women to the workforce that birth rates decline, it's education, as we've already talked about. But again, a really big kink in your armor for that narrative is that Gulf states don't have feminism, but they do have declining birth rates. And they don't typically let women broadly participate in the workforce. So what's going on in Gulf states? And the major difference is women getting education. Now, if you want to say that women getting education is feminism, I guess my question would be what your prescription is, that we just don't educate women at all. Because when you want to talk actually about economy, I would totally grant to you that men are the power engines of an economy in every single country.
That hair match is golly.
Don't get the credit that maybe you deserve.
You see the dog leash on her husband's neck? No, wait, I actually didn't see that. And they came over and introduced themselves to me too. I was like trying to go in and get food, and
would you agree that the relative competitiveness?
she was like, "Hey,"
Talking about GDP.
and then she like introduced her husband to me.
I'll just
Dude, she doesn't. Okay, am I wrong about saying like doesn't she talk about her husband as though he's like some Chad like alpha dude? He was shorter than her. He was shorter than me by like a foot. They were like Destiny status. Her boyfriend is maybe a little bit taller than Destiny. And she's maybe like an inch or two taller than him. It was bad. I was like, what are we talking about? Your boyfriend is not a Chad. I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying.
grant everything you said there. Simone de Beauvoir famously said in an interview with Betty Friedan
That was bad.
that if we allow women the choice, most of them are going to want to stay home and have babies. I'm paraphrasing. Which is why she said we can't allow that. We shouldn't allow that. We should tell them that they have to go to work, which is what the CCP did. That's what the Soviets did. That's what a lot of the Asian nations have done. They've
Yeah,
said,
it was pretty
we're gonna
bad.
have one-child policy because they were like, you ladies need to be working, right? What we see every time is that birth rates crash, and those governments have to correct course.
My
All of them
gosh.
have had to try, and what happens is it doesn't work. You've created an
I gotta use the bathroom, BRB.
that depends on women working, like you said. If it's the most important thing to be competitive in the global market, and these countries are having all their females work, then we got to do that too. And what I said in my opening is we're trading long-term stability for short-term gains, and it's coming back right now to bite us in the ass. So, yes, it's very complex, but how do we make babies? And what are we educating women for? Like, when I say education, I have no college degree. I went to cosmetology school, yet here I am with a best-selling book, debating on a world stage, doing all kinds of things, but I did it after raising 5 human beings that are going to go off into the future and contribute. So I'm not now, nor have I ever been making the case that women can't learn, be educated. I'm self-educated. We have the internet now. We have more access to information than ever before in history. What we don't need to do is send women to a university, saddle them with an average of $60,000 in debt, expect them to start a career, and then they don't even start a family until they're 31 and it's almost too late.
Sure.
That's backwards.
So the reason why people invest in early on education is it dominantly comes from, again, capitalism and modernization, because what you do early on in life is going to have the most net returns, right? Anybody who knows anything about investment knows this, right? If you, as a young person, invest in education early and you are guaranteed a higher income, that will have net returns for your whole life longer. The reason why men and women are choosing to get married later is, frankly, because of what we've taught them with the Protestant work ethic and being good stewards of their family and their children. The reality is I'm super happy that you've been really successful, right? You and Andrew are world level. You've got, I think you have a massive income at this point, right? That, your story isn't everyone's story, and it can't be, because not everyone can be a best-selling author or a world-traveling debater. The reality is that a lot of women who opt for the post-schooling education typically never go back. They never actually end up achieving, and it's really, really hard. Actually,
My chair was mogging.
No background of education. You haven't worked in years. To try to find now career prospects that will be sufficient enough to fund you and your child. I agree that the dual income issue.
My wife walked into my office while I was watching and told me to tell you, hey,
Isn't feminism.
sorry again.
It's runaway inflation, right? It is dominantly
Sorry, I forgot everybody. Okay.
People who are lower income
I didn't mean
have
it.
less ability to negotiate wages
I
because
didn't
they
mean
have
it.
more
I didn't mean it
confidence.
like a douchebag. Okay, just know that. All right. There was like 2 other people that I forgot, and I felt like such a fucking. I was like, man, they probably think I'm like a fucking douche. Like I'm trying to be like, oh, who are you? Trust me, it's not like that. I work in like customer facing also, so that doesn't help either. I make like and take hundreds of phone calls a week, maybe fucking 1,000. So, and I don't remember any of our customers that come in, and they come in all the fucking time. No, I forgot, dude. I almost forgot JS, and I felt like such a dickhead because I thought he was gonna think that I was like trying to like fucking be like that. I was like, dude, no, I'm not that person. Trust me. I'm just have fucking short-term memory loss at this point. I can't remember more than 1,000 names, dude. I am coping, dude. Actually, I am a dickhead. You know, I was trying to be an asshole. You know what I mean? Trying to be a big shot. It's the prestige of getting older, dude. I know it actually scares me, dude. I actually don't like it. I'm like, I used to fucking remember everybody, bro. Yeah, I like almost forgot who JS was. Like JS, the other streamer, like JS Urban Adventures. He's won Mortal Kombat or VK Combat a couple times, Verbal Combat. And I knew his face, and I was like, I started to say like, "What's your Discord?" Somebody else saved me. But I was like, yeah, no, I know fucking JS because I fucking went on his panels a couple times. And he is on camera. I felt like a dickhead, but I was definitely not trying to be a dickhead. I just have a fucking really bad memory now. You talk to like a shit ton. I see faces like, and then it doesn't help that my parish, our parish that we joined, has like, it has like 1,000 people in it, dude. Our parish is massive. So like, I'm trying to learn everybody there. I'm trying to fucking learn everybody at work. And then I'm like, Nashville to me seems like 5 years ago now. So I'm like, I definitely recognize everybody here. Everybody's face that I'm seeing, I'm like, okay, yeah, I fucking recognize like half of these people, but I have no idea. Moving on to bigger and better people. Yeah. Too good for you guys now. It's like when you start hanging out with a different friend group at school, you know, and your friends are like, think you're fucking better than us, dude. You're like, no. I'm trying to mix it up, dude. Social butterfly.
Toy, and you can build it
Pollinate.
for 50 cents, but in America, because workers are more educated and expect higher income and their dollar is worth more, you unfortunately have to offshore it. It's more effective. That's why manufacturing left. It's not feminism.
Well, a lot of early feminists wrote a lot about how once we achieved full Marxism and communism, because feminism,
I don't know if there's any like
there's
better.
one side. That's what my first book was about. But the second one is about the Marxist communist side, which wanted to destroy the family so that we could have women workers and we could have communally raised children, where everybody's loyalty is to the state.
I started to see about getting up to ask a question, but actually, I don't know if I got up for this one or not. Might have got up and sat back down, but my real question was stuff that Rachel already said, but it wasn't even going to be a question. It was more of a statement, which was just going to be reiterating what I said earlier, which is that she never made her position, or she never made the case for the position that she was supposed to be arguing. She just made a position for like a case nobody was arguing
Saw that this was going to be a problem, and they said,
or against it.
Our main obstacle is going to be biology. We're going to have to overcome biology. We're going to have transgenderism. We're going to have artificial wombs. We're going to need some.
Oh wait, did I miss? Hold on. Let me go back.
That's what my first book was about. But the second one is about the Marxist.
Oh, hold on. Let me see.
Well, a lot of early feminists wrote a lot about how once we achieved full Marxism and communism, because feminism there's a capitalist side. That's what my first book was about. But the second one is about the Marxist communist side, which wanted to destroy the family so that we could have women workers and we could have communally raised children, where everybody's loyalty is to the state. And nobody can pass down private property or anything like that. When you send all the women to work early and you tell them they have to go to college and they invest all of their fertile years, those feminists over 100 years ago saw that this was going to be a problem, and they said, in the future, our main obstacle is going to be biology. We're going to have to overcome biology. We're going to have transgenderism. We're going to have artificial wombs. We're going to need some way of dealing with the demographic cliff that's caused by pushing mothers out of motherhood and into the workforce, because you can't do both. Motherhood is not a nights and weekends gig that you do when you're time and you're out of work. It's a full-time job that deserves.
It's so crazy, dude. Like having a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, it's insane, dude. I can't imagine my wife not being at home. My wife says the same thing. She's like, I can't imagine letting somebody else come in and raise our kids. It's insane to me.
Full-time attention, and there's never going to be a way around that unless you do want everybody to do the Dave Rubin thing and, just buy designer babies, and we'll just outsource wombs, we'll outsource daycare, and by the way, who's doing that? Just other women. So for you and I, if we want to have kids, our privilege of going to work means some other random woman who doesn't care about our child is now going to be raising them for 11 or 12 bucks.
This is what I thought of too when this was happening during the debate. I don't know if I can find this or not. There was like these little shorts that were going around. I might not be able to find it right now. It's like the thing they do with the pets. Like, oh, come to me, come to me. But it was moms versus nannies, and the kids were going to the nannies every time. I was like, dude, that's so depressing. It might have been on TikTok that I saw it. Nah, yeah, I don't see it. I saw a couple of them and I was like, this is so depressing, dude. Nah, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Anyways, you get the gist of it. The kids were like on the ground, you know what I mean? Or like they were like turned around or blindfolded or something, and then they like took it off and it's like pick one, and they all ran to the nanny. I was like, that is the most depressing thing I've ever seen.
An hour. What about her? Is that liberating and empowering for her?
W.
Is it liberating and empowering for me to spend all day at work and not see my child take their first steps? Or does it make more sense to tell women, hey, look, you can do a lot in this life. There's a lot of living after 40. But, focus on family first. Find your husband, build your family, grow together. Your husband's income will grow as your family grows. And then after that, there is a ton of stuff that you can do.
That's what me and my wife have talked about this too. I was like, dude, you're putting in all the work now raising the kids. Like, whatever you want, dude. Like, when the kids are out of the house and you want to like start a fucking business or whatever, I got you. Like, we'll set some money aside, whatever the fuck you want to do. That's fine with me. So you want to go to work and I'll stay at home after the fucking kids are gone? Sure. Let's go for it. So, I mean, I think that's what, that's what this whole thing is about. Feminism is making enemies of all the men. You know what I mean? And painting men as they're the most like diabolical creatures. If you even trust, a man and get married to him, they're all going to fuck you over. They're all going to leave you high and dry. They're going to abuse you, and so therefore you should pursue your career first, do all the stuff that you want to do first, and then have a kid at 35. But by the time you're trying to do that, nobody wants to settle down with you anymore because you're too old. And then even if you do have kids, the closer you get to 40, there's health complications. And you're going to be fed up with like dealing with the fucking world, as you should to some degree. If you got to go out there and deal with the world, work a full-time job, deal with like trying to get promotions and upper management and fucking HR and all this other bullshit that you have to deal with as a full-time, working a full-time career or whatever. Yeah, rightfully so. You're going to be a little like, I need to fucking chill out at the end of the day, not like hold a bunch of kids and like whatever. Not that I don't love doing that shit. I do it all the time. But I'm just saying, I'm away all the time, so I miss them. if both of you were away and then both of you are coming back home, both of you are going to be like, man, I wish there was somebody that could like take over here. And then that's when they get a nanny, and then that's when the kids start hating them. Yeah, true.
Starting to sound like a Marxist socialist, Rachel. So I'll be the first to grant you that the way that America has its orientation towards mothers, particularly within like capitalism, and the way that we, for example, don't give them any maternity leave. I think in many states it's like 2 weeks here, which is crazy, right? So
and that's the dude. Oh my god, I remember this. I remember this part. This was so frustrating because it's like Rachel even would concede a lot of these things. Like, okay, yeah, all those things are great. We can walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. We can do it's both. It's not either or. It's both and. We can say feminism is, destroying the cultural relationship between, how the genders view each other. And we can say we need to provide certain things. We need to provide more maternity leave for men or paternity leave, whatever, and get fathers, more time whenever the wife is giving, whatever the case is. We can do both, though. We don't have to pick one or the other.
Incentives to make having a family more affordable for the common man, right? So there are many things that I think the government can and should do to make it so that family rearing is more affordable. The reality is prescribing a young girl who at 19 stays home and gets married has kids. Number one, the reality is that those marriages are the most likely to dissolve. It's the highest divorce rate group is young people getting married. Second of all, the reality is that that young man, he basically will have to sacrifice if he even wants to.
Also, that depends on whether or not you're what religion you are too, because religious, specifically Christians who get married at a younger age have the greatest success, I think.
To having any amount of income.
So it just so happens that obviously because of feminism and other, like atheism and the science bros and all of this has geared all the younger generations towards all the younger people away from Christianity and into other either other religions or to atheism and agnosticism. So yeah, of course, those are going to be less successful overall. But if you control for whether or not they're Christian, then you get different results.
To be able to afford his 5 babies, for example. The reality is that man is going to entirely sacrifice his fatherhood, right? How many men here work more than 40 hours a week already?
Oh, this was like such a...
Now, how many of you work more than 50? More than 50 hours. More than 50. You sir too? 60. Or got an option. 80. Okay, yeah. Men work so much. They work so much, and your prescription is that they miss their childhood's first steps. They miss talking to their kids. They miss fatherhood because they're attached to their GDP output to provide for their family because mom shouldn't work and shouldn't work for economically viable.
Which is the point that Rachel made earlier. The whole like my GDP, or maybe she hasn't said that yet, but I think she did say something about it earlier. She just didn't do the GDP.
That's ridiculous, right? That's actually telling young men, abandon your children for the next 10 years until you've made it. It is.
All right.
I agree. That's very bad. It's very bad for Rachel to do to men.
All right,
I miscarried twice, but nice try.
Relax.
Didn't stick as well. You hoped it would, hey?
Go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah,
We'll give you 2 minutes.
So-
All right, in the back, keep it down.
Are they going to be exited or just the ones that are heckling that way? I mean, he said weird stuff about my children. It's kind of weird.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, he made some comment about me not having children.
Wow, can you find him?
Listen, we don't need to make any of this personal, guys.
Yeah.
Totally unnecessary.
See, that one was weird. She kind of reframed it like a little worse. She made it a little worse than it was. I didn't catch that at the beginning until I watched this back later. I watched that part back to see what was said or whatever. But all he said was, he said, how many children have you made? Which I guess is kind of like cringe. It's like, but it's not like the way she said it was like, well, he said something weird about my children. It's like, not really. I mean, given the context that you just gave there saying like, oh, I had 2 miscarriages. Okay, but he didn't know that when he said that. He wasn't trying to be...
I care about
help
the
us
arguments
find,
and worldviews.
I miscarried, but thank you for your concern.
help us find that person. We're gonna walk him out.
I don't know if they even removed that guy or not.
Sorry about that, Kyla.
If anybody found it.
I thought it was like they were agreeing with you. I didn't hear what they said, so I agree with you. Yeah, folks, don't bring up people's families. And again, if it's I want to be easygoing. So if it's like something playful and you agree or something, like I'm not going to flip out. But if it is malevolent toward one of the speakers, then we're just going to take you out right now. So who's 2 minutes? Go ahead, Rachel.
So Elizabeth Warren, of all people, wrote a book called The Two-Income Trap, and there's a reason why you could still, post-industrialization and post-technological revolution, have a janitor.
My boy Elizabeth Warren, man. It's cost of being a Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's not. We're designed for that, though. I mean, not to say that men don't get emotionally attached to their children. That would be like retarded. I'm letting go. It's like, I don't know how to describe it though. Like from the moment like our kids have been born, I'm like, they're gonna be gone one day. So I'm like waiting for, I'm like trying to like, make sure they're the best people. I'm like planning for all this stuff, and my wife is more like just soaking up all the moments, taking all the pictures. She's able to be there, doing all the things, like very involved. Not that I'm not, but I'm just saying, like, I just feel like it's different. I just know from the outset, I'm like, the house is going to be empty one day. I still try, not that I don't try to take advantage of it and be there and make sure I'm like in the moment, like enjoying all the things too. But we're just designed differently. We're more logically oriented. We understand what's happening, and we're willing to give up. We know that we're willing to go sacrifice to protect this little thing that we have. That's really nice and cool and awesome. Yeah, it sucks, but yeah, it's what's for the best. Like, if we could go work a farm together and be there all the time, and that's the kind of stuff that I'm working towards, owning my own business. So like I can just bring my kids with me wherever I am, or I can do my work from home, or whatever the case is. I'm built different. Yeah, it's like we're not the same thing, man. You're a woman, you're a man. And you're gonna have outliers, sure. You're gonna have like, heartless, emotionless people like Michael Jackson over here, but who want designer babies, I guess. But no, I mean, it's just different. We're the ones that are going to go away and fight the wars, and probably half of us die or whatever. That's just kind of how it worked in ye olden day. And that's how it's always going to be in the future too. I mean, and so for right now, because, and this is to Rachel's point in the beginning, all of these advancements, all these modern technological advancements have made it easier for the men to not have to go off and die and have to be facing war after war after war. The wars are all very far away now. The borders are so expanded. Our military has such great might here in America that it's to a detriment, because then it gives women all these, fairy tale ideas that somehow we're going to like turn this upside down and we're going to become like the matriarchy, and all the causes for all the problems are now men. And if it wasn't for these stupid men running everything, we just wouldn't even have wars. And it's like, okay, we could put all the women in charge tomorrow. Guess what? We'd be invaded the next day. If we put all the women in charge of the entire government, and we put all the women in charge of the entire military, Russia and China would make their move collectively. They'd be like, now's the time to strike. These fucking idiots. What are they doing? What do they think is going to happen? Because no matter the technological advantages that we have over military, you still have to have, like David Goggins says, who's going to carry the boats? You got to have the strength, man. You got to have the brute force.
But the biggest one, and the one that's different than every other economic downturn throughout all of history, is that when you push, and this is, proponents of feminism actually say this. They say, oh, it's great when you send all the women and the moms to work, you get this much higher luxury standard of living, you get a higher GDP. But they'll also admit that this does create a reliance on that. So we're building sectors of the she economy around things like education. Women dominate healthcare.
Yeah, because you get a bunch of fancy stuff as a result of having a really high GDP, as a result of having, the controlling the global hegemony and being the traded dollar, being the traded currency globally. You get the reward, you reap the benefits of. Now we can be like a consumer market, and we can just make a bunch of shit that nobody actually needs. There is no actual need for, but we can do like nail salons and hair salons, and we can do like vegetable massage parlors, and who the fuck knows what, vegan restaurants. You can just make shit up. You can be a banjo player in a vape shop. You can busk on the side of the road. Our homeless people are probably some of the most well-off people on the planet. Our buskers, a person busking in America is probably one of the highest paid and has access to the most resources on the entire planet. And those are our poors. Okay? Those are the people that aren't doing shit. So imagine all the fluffy extra stuff. That's what's happening to everything. Everything is becoming digitized. We're like destroying swamps to plant to destroying the wildlife, our state parks, so we can buy up the property and install giant fucking servers so that I can put a picture of my friend in there and make it where it looks like he has a fucking dick growing out of his head on Grok. Okay? On ChatGPT can make my friend have tits. That's how good we have it here. But all of that shit it's not useful. It doesn't mean anything. If we go to war tomorrow, the data centers are essentially used. I mean, granted, the data centers could be repurposed to calculating warfare strategy and doing simulations to simulate warfare, blah, 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 blah. Yes, they can be repurposed. But like the jobs that people have created for themselves in this consumer economy will be completely useless, and there's no way you can repurpose them. Like there's no use for, the guy who fucking does emotes on TikTok every time a fucking galaxy comes through, and a bunch of chilies and a hot dog, and they do the fucking glizzy, and they do all the gay shit on camera. There's no use for you, bro. You're not. When the war comes, you're going to fight, or you're going to the labor camps, dude.
And education over every other type of job, and then everything else is like cottage industry stuff like Etsy. Like I have an Etsy shop, and I have a brownie shop. You guys see like the 5,000 different cake and cookie shops that are
yeah, resellers, dude. The what is it? The drop shippers. These fucking guys that are like, I have an online storefront. It's like, what are you gonna actually do for people though? What benefit do you provide for like? Tomorrow I could go out if everything's shut down, an EMP hit or a solar flare, and all the electronics were fucked tomorrow. You know what I mean? I could go out and help people fix their cars and help people get their cars running and stuff like that. I could do manual labor. The people who are drop shipping and selling courses, and they're doing fucking pyramid schemes, multi-level marketing. You know what I mean? They're selling fucking Tupperware. You're cooked, bro. You're selling Maybelline. What's the makeup people?
Mary Kay.
Mary Kay. If you're a Mary Kay distributor, you're going to the labor camps. Okay. When World War III comes, you're either going to be birthing children or you're going to a labor camp. All right. You're going to be sewing patches onto uniforms. You're going to be sewing wounds shut, okay?
Oh my God.
You're not useful. Are you going to bed?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we can't kiss. Our kids are diseased. Our kids have leprosy.
No.
Our kids' limbs, everyone in our house, their limbs are about to fall off.
No.
So... no, I think our kids have hand, foot,
and mouth
anus disease, or whatever it's called.
Hand, foot, and mouth. It's highly contagious. We probably got it at the park or something.
Yeah, we're basically toast. So our anniversary is coming up.
Yeah.
What was happening? Everything was happening all at once.
I'm not telling everybody in your.
My wife is emotionally unstable. And then our kids got hand, foot, mouth, anus disease.
No.
They got leprosy. And then our anniversary is
on
Wednesday.
Yeah. Wait.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I can't count, dude.
No.
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, close enough. So that was fun. Everything just happened all at once.
We can't even do anything on our anniversary because we had got hand, mouth, and foot.
I don't think we have it yet.
Well,
we'll find out.
I'm assuming that by Tuesday, at least one of us will have it.
She's going to have it. So she's sleeping in the garage.
No, you're sleeping on the couch.
Okay, well.
Okay, well, see ya, sucker.
All right, good night. All right, let's try to finish some of this. I don't think we can finish all of this. I wanted to try to do one of the other debates too.
Offshoring all of our, manufacturing and all of that. This is all bad stuff, but it was made possible. It was made possible by pushing all the women. Now we have all this new labor. This was what
Possible by users like you.
Get the women into the factories, pay them cheap labor, like you said. This was the beginning. Then you pass the income tax. Now we're taxing 2 people in the household instead of just 1. Then we pass compulsory education systems. Now you have to send your child to public school, and you have to pay the taxes for that too. So the net result of all of these things coming together and creating this new great society is that daddy is your government now. Or the government's your daddy now. Sorry.
Yay.
The government's your daddy now. And all those men who just raised their hand who work 50, 60 hours a week, how many of you would prefer your wife to go to work and your children to be raised in daycare so that you can work less?
None.
None. Of course. Exactly. So, again,
They prefer to be home with their kids as well. I suspect they would probably prefer to be able to know your kid's first words. You don't want to watch your kid walk for the first time. You don't want to be there. You just want it on film footage because you're at work.
Andrew worked 60, 70-hour weeks for 12 years and still was a very integral part of the kid's life.
The issue is, it's not a critique of dads and saying that you guys are bad dads. I think you guys are probably excellent dads.
Yes, it is. That's literally what you were doing.
Kids. But this idea that mom stays home and dad works, it is denying you guys the ability to spend time with your children. You are trading it. Do you know what the number one regret of all men in hospice? Do you know what the number one regret is of all men in hospice? Not spending enough time with their kids.
That they wish they didn't do all that gay shit.
Because they are told, particularly from this.
What's up, Ambrose? Bro, get in here, dude.
Even though the reality is that the corporate elites at the top make it damn near impossible for you to do so on one income. What is upper?
Do I still have the Discord pin? I thought I had it pinned, but I guess
that's a lot of money.
nobody joined earlier. There was
The reality is, you guys have almost no negotiating wage power, mostly because we're
a handful of people here earlier.
AI, and also because again of this expectation that you
People coming through.
And I don't love either of these trade-offs. What I want is a situation where families can flourish, but it's not feminism. It's not some simple, small thing. It's so much more complicated than that. And if we don't have the real conversations about the people pitting us against each other while they're
Against each other.
Trillions, I think now, at the top, we're never going to solve this issue. We're just going to keep pointing at men, pointing at women, and being like, it's all each other's fault. It's like, it's not. It's like, it's bad antitrust law and a K-shaped economy that's fucking with all of us. I agree with the problems you outline. It's not good. It is a problem, but it's not feminism.
Okay, that's not the debate. That's great. That's not the debate topic. It's not feminism. It's not all feminism was not the debate topic.
All right. So you might remember in my opening how I said that 1/3 of all American men are not in the workforce. It's a historic low male participation rate. Do you know why? It's not just automation. It's that most of these men have no prospect of marriage or family that they can see. And so they don't see any point. And they're going to stay at home and live in mom's basement and play video games where they can at least pretend to be winning the game of life. Men need challenge. They need to be able to go out into the world and overcome and become who they are. That's what being a man is. And when you send all the women to work and tell them, don't get married, that's dangerous, you'll get abused, which by the way is a total myth and a complete lie. All we did with no-fault divorce was shift the pool of abuse from married women to women living with their boyfriend. You are 40% more likely to be abused in a cohabitative relationship than you are if you're a married woman. And what has happened is there's no true solutions. This pie in the sky, like, oh, we'll just have UBI and socialism, and then everyone can stay home with the kids, and everybody can just work part-time. Again, if you value this first world, like, high standard of living, that's not going to happen without the men that go out there and
right.
And everything you enjoy about this first world standard of living was built by men who were willing to risk death to get the girl and have the family and go out there and risk something and build great things that took multiple generations to build for their future, for their children. And if you're not going to give them children and you're not going to marry them, they have no incentive to do that. That's where the problem is, and you still haven't addressed it.
Sure. So,
Same.
lots to tackle there. 1/3 of men are not in the workplace anymore. Isn't the GDP still going up? So if men are the most important for that, and they're the highest output, and women are filling in all those spots,
My
why is the
GDP,
and
brother.
participation is decreasing. Is that maybe because women are able to also be efficient in the workplace potentially, and
GDP like a mug, son.
2 minutes anymore? No, there's a lag. There's a lag with birth rate too.
I'll defer to you, Rachel, because
Sure. Well, I'll just answer this one quickly. It's something that a lot of people don't understand about demographics. You can have below replacement rates for quite a long time before you all of a sudden hit. That's why they call it a cliff, because it'll look like, oh, and this is why people say, oh, we're actually overpopulated. There's too many people, and the population is still growing. It's an actual delayed thing where it keeps growing, and then all of a sudden it goes bam, and it hits like this low. And again, I have graphs on my phone I wasn't able to put on there, but if you look at Russia, South Korea, China, places that have tried this, that's exactly what you see with their birth rate. It'll go up, and then it'll sharp downturn, and then they try to get it back up, and it never recovers. So it's like a snowball effect. So yes, GDP is still going up for now. We have maybe 30 to 50 years before we hit serious trouble that we might not recover from for like many generations.
Maybe. I'm sure you don't have a single source for that claim.
I
but that's
just
fine.
said, look at South Korea, look at China, look at Russia.
Well, that would be
They
great if
have
you would
not
tackle the
recovered.
Gulf states, but again, a really big problem with your narrative.
How does that, again, even you could grant that and still just say the exception doesn't make the rule.
That the Gulf states are not letting women participate by and large. They are getting increasingly educated, and yet their birth rate is still declining.
Yeah,
So
they're
women
like
not
70
taking all
years
these jobs.
behind us.
And their GDP is booming and growing because, to be honest,
Because they're 70 years
I do-
behind us.
No,
They'll
I
have
do
this
wanna-
problem.
I will tell you why
I do
it's
wanna-
booming. The reason why it's booming is because rather than allowing women to participate in the workforce at all in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Kuwait, what they do is mass migration. They bring in a whole bunch of people, particularly from like Trinidad and Tobago, bring in all of these low-wage workers that they treat as second-class citizens to prop up their economy so that they can keep doing these things. So if you want to get women out of the workforce, you are going to have to fill it with something else, and it's not just going to be just men. The reality is, especially if it's a 50-year problem, you're creating an acute crisis where you will absolutely need to just bring in way more mass migration to replace all this. But that's just the reality of what you're prescribing for people, right? So again, birth rate going down, I agree, not great. We should probably try to fix that. But the conversation is about feminism, and you keep insisting it's feminism's fault. But again, the Gulf states easily demonstrate that it's not. Nobody looks at Kuwait and Qatar and goes, wow, the bastion of feminism. Nobody thinks that, obviously. So your narrative runs into immediately counter-competing information. You talked about manufacturing. Again, manufacturing didn't get crushed because of women's push into the workforce. It got crushed by the triff.
It got put that shit crush.
Has massive trade deficits. Everyone knows this. So in this situation, when the U.S. dollar is the global currency, everyone wants to bring business here because it's like the hot spot. It's the best place to be, and the American dollar goes far. Manufacturing gets crushed because American workers want higher wages because our cost of living is higher because everyone's bringing their business here and everyone's infusing cash all the time. You have to deal with the real economic issues that are causing the issue, not just blame feminism.
Okay.
Rachel, you got 2 minutes as well?
I'll try this one more time. I'm not blaming every economic problem on feminism. I'm blaming one economic
Thank you.
problem, the only one that matters, which is demographics.
Gulf states.
There's a lot of different. Yeah, they still have above replacement because all the women
They
aren't
don't.
working.
They don't.
wanna
They're
give- I do wanna
under-replaced.
give- I do it the same way that
They are
Rachel did in the
behind
last one. I want to give her the same.
The whole world is going this way. So all the countries that are still above replacement, which is only a handful, are trending down. And when those people, so you said immigrants, you're right. Saudi Arabia imports their entire workforce. We're trying to do that in the West. And what happens? Number one, all the places we're trying to bring immigrants from are now getting below replacement as well. So you're running out of other people to bring over. But two, when you bring those people over from those cultures where there's no feminism into the West, within one generation, their birth rate drops to as low as the native population in the West. So you bring someone over from Pakistan, where the birth rate is the highest in the world. You bring them to the UK, where there's feminism. You send their daughters to college and send their daughters to the workforce. They also only have 1.5 children per woman. So no, my claim, you're strawmanning me again. My claim is not every economic problem is caused by feminism. Of course not. But the one that is caused by feminism will be the only one that matters, because if there's no people, there's no future. And you still haven't told me how you're going to combat that. How are you going to have your first world feminist utopia where the men and the women both work part-time, everyone gets to stay home, however we're going to work that, everybody gets to follow their dreams and do what they
I
want?
think that's called a straw man.
How do we get to do that with below replacement birth rates?
Yeah, we
If
need to
women
solve-
Unbelievable.
are not going to have babies, and that's the only part of my argument that matters.
Sure, yeah, I've tackled, so I can
Get
repeat
back
for
over
you.
to Kyla for 2 minutes.
I've responded to this multiple times, which again, declining birth rate is not feminism. It is modernization. This is why Saudi Arabia, as it modernizes, has a decline, which, by the way, is below replacement. Saudi Arabia is like 1.7 right now. So no, they're not replacing themselves. Birth rate decline is because as you modernize and give people more education, they choose to postpone marriage and they have less children as a result of it. It's really that simple, but that's not feminism.
That only applies to women. That's the whole point.
That's education, that's capitalism, and it's kind of the Protestant work ethic. Because if there's any system that tells you delay gratification, hustle and work hard, make sure you're a steward of the future, it's probably something like a capitalist system with economic incentive to grow, and a Protestant work ethic that says work. That's what you're actually contending with here. Does feminism have impacts on certain things? Yeah, I think it's made women particularly significantly more choosy in like their partners, for example. But if you look at these bad college women, for example, they're the group getting married more than anyone else since 2010. They are the highest population to get married. Their marriage is
Dude, why does she do like the TikTok like face people? Like, have you seen the stupid fucking TikToks where they're like making faces? Hold on, let me see. She talks like this. Like she does this the fucking. Okay, we're gonna get weird shit if we keep scrolling, but
longer. They have a divorce rate that's way lower than everyone else, by the way. Their children are more successful. Their children
I think so.
Significantly more. I'd love to get those ladies having children more too. Let's invest in more technologies to kind of.
She does like the, and she does like the, she like the eyebrow raises and the scrunchy nose and the.
Help them increase their window of IVF, but I'm sure you're opposed to that, right? There's also let's get tax credits. Yeah, let's.
Dude, that is crazy, man. Hold on, we need to go. When she talks, we need to go actual one time because she was going.
You guys want to solve the
berserk.
birth rate hope, invest in more technologies to kind of help them increase their window of IVF, but I'm sure you're opposed to that, right? There's all sorts. Let's get tax credits. Yeah.
What did
you guys want to solve the birth rate problem unless you actually have solutions that are about modernization.
Why are you
Because
breaking
the actual
things in
enemy
here?
Today
Where's your
isn't
charger?
feminism, it's
right
modernization.
there.
And we're never going back to monkey.
No, don't
so
steal
we may
it.
as well give up on that one.
All right, I'm just kidding. You can take it.
Okay.
Just bring it in the room.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, love you. Bye.
So first of all, you said it's a capitalism problem along with a modernization problem. That doesn't explain how China and
Did you watch this one already, Jim Bob?
this happened to them first before any
This was a bad one.
capitalist nation. Because in communism, it was, yeah, have the babies, but mainly go to work because we need to fill the factories and everybody needs to be a proletariat worker, right? They experienced this before capitalist countries did, and to the biggest degree. So it can't just be capitalism. Second of all, telling women to wait to have children because IVF will be there, people who say that haven't looked into IVF and how abysmal the failure rate is. First of all, it's massively expensive, and even if you completely subsidize it like they do in Israel, it's horrific to put women through. Have you ever had to inject yourself with a crap ton of hormones and go through all the things that you have to go through for IVF? It's miserable.
Yes.
And if you wait until you're 40, it has a less than 10% success rate, about the same as conceiving naturally. It doesn't work. So telling women to wait for IVF is cruel and unusual punishment. It's a horrible idea.
I think that's called a straw man. Yeah, that's a great, yeah. Yeah, I think, what did you call that? I think we call that a straw man. Because, yeah, of course my solution that I've outlined isn't just wait for IVF. In fact, one of the things that I think most importantly has to happen is a college-level radical reformation, right? The idea that to just, like, work in mid-level HR, you need a bachelor's degree is fucking crazy. I'm sorry. There's no world that you need to be like Aristotle and, you know, back of the day said that doesn't matter. What you need is more technical schools so that people can expedite, get into the careers that they actually want, that are economical, that are pushing our GDP. All these fluffy industries, by the way, are what makes our country dominate the world. So careful what you insult.
No, they don't. The fluffy industries don't do anything. She's just conflating too. She like snuck that in there. Technical colleges, technical school, that stuff already exists. Trade schools already exist. The jobs that make the country great, the jobs that turn the wheels, okay, that grease the economy, are the trade jobs. They're the dirty jobs. They're the welding. They're the manufacturing. They're the HVAC. They're construction, whatever else. Those are all trade jobs. They always have been available. You can always go to trade school. We had a bunch of people preaching to us that you needed to go to college or you needed to go to the military to be successful for the past like 20 years. And it fucking destroyed our trades, you know, and then we outsourced for the sake of my GDP. We outsourced all of our fucking skilled labor like that, or like manual skilled labor. I don't know what you call it. It's not skilled labor like chip making is, or, you know, it's not super high IQ, you know, but it still takes learning your craft. You need to go and do like a apprenticeship, whatever, right? All of that's outsourced overseas now for the sake of my GDP.
Out there, okay? These fluffy tech jobs, by the way, sitting there, what's more like fluffy and soy than sitting and like working at a computer? I don't know. I feel like men should be sweating, right? By your man job. I love men sitting on computers, okay? You guys go off, kings. What you actually need to talk about here is a radical reformation of the education system. Like, if you want to get on my leftist craziness, join me over here, okay? I'm down for it. If you want to talk about women getting maternity leave and dads getting pat leave and it being required by the company to pay for it and not the government, I'm all down for it. I want moms to stay home for like a year. I want dads to stay home for at least 6 months to a year. It's tradable between the two. I think that's awesome. Norway does it, and it's fucking awesome, by the way. Also, if you want to know before you laugh about it, childhood outcomes of children whose parents get mat and pat leave, you might want to guess it's really fucking good. Yeah,
dude, her faces are like, golly. Andrew hit it on the head, dude. Totally just unlikable overall. It's like when you just get firing off like that, it doesn't work for you. It just doesn't. You can't be the female destiny. It just doesn't work. Everyone hates you. I think we need to leave this up. So if we can put it over here or something. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see if we can put this up over here. Uh-oh. What is this one? Wait, has this been like this the whole time? Did this change when I close it? Nobody tells me anything. Let's see. What is going on here, dude? What is that? How's it not up? Oh, there we go. There we go. We'll just leave that there for a little while.
Really successful children. So I wanted to deal with the birth rate issue just as much as you do by radicalizing the speed of getting people from education into it. I think the tax that we put on the young in America is insane. I want boomers to stop just gobbling up all the wealth at the top and then holding on to their assets so that it's not there for anybody else. And I think the moment you make life affordable, so it's not $45,000 to have a baby, suddenly people want to have kids a lot more. That's going to be my guess.
Yeah,
It's like nobody's even going to argue with that.
I started my opening with all those infographics for you because you cannot subsidize your way out of this problem. In order to be able to have enough,
private, but okay.
We're not Norway. This is a very large country. And
Well, I said private institutions would cover it. Well, you at least deal with what I'm saying. Or you can strawman. That's fine. We're doing strawman hour now. Go
You
ahead.
can't subsidize your way out of this. You can't just, we'll just pay for people to be able to be parents. We'll just give them infinite time off so they can spend more time. I already explained this is a math problem. When you have 1/3 of men in the country not even participating in the workforce, your social safety nets are already about to collapse. You cannot add paid family leave and have everybody working a part-time job and subsidize college for everyone. This is what started the problem. The smart countries that are going to still be here and are going to be dominating in the future, I would wager, are the ones who are going to prioritize producing actual goods, including things like food, their own power. They will have energy independence. That's all male-dominated.
Food is
industries.
kind of crazy,
The smart
bro.
countries are going to say, hey, ladies, here's some incentive for you to stay out of the workforce early on in life. Have a family. We're going to make women staying home and raising their own children the affordable thing, not some kind of weird government subsidy where mommy and daddy both work, but you get a bunch of government-subsidized time off for like the first year or two of your child's life. I don't know if you know this, but they live longer than a year or two. They still need you when they get older. So
My dad knows.
it would be a lot smarter rather than to just double down on all the shit.
What is that? What-
Problems to say,
who-
hey, this is the wrong approach.
okay.
Looking into the
That's not the right. Not who cares as in like, you know, obviously that's devastating, but like that's not relevant to what this is talking about.
We should
What she's
prioritize
talking about.
long-term stability and make families independent of the government rather than continue to double down on government's your daddy policies.
Gotcha. So speaking of fluffy dream worlds, oh my goodness. Honestly, Rachel, I want to live in your fan fiction utopia too. It sounds fucking awesome. How are you going to do that though? Because it seems like, you know, if you want your economy to be successful and booming, it seems like the countries who are best at it went, well, we definitely want all people who are best at human capital to be in the spaces that they're most efficient at. It seems like, you know, we've done things like we've tried to have comparative advantages. So we go, why have one woman at home teach 2 kids when that same woman who's a really talented teacher can teach 15 kids, and that other woman who is now not teaching her kids because another woman that is wonderful and that we regularly trust is teaching her children, and that woman can go and do something else successful in whatever way that she would be. Maybe it's making delicious brownies, which by the way, don't knock brownies, okay? Never knock brownies until you try one.
This was the strangest part of this whole thing. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Hold on. Yeah, we need to watch this in like 1x because she was spurging out and I don't even know what happened. I don't know how.
Work, but you get a bunch of government subsidized time off for like the first year or two. You double down, be looking at government.
Yeah, fluffy dream worlds. Oh my goodness. Honestly, Rachel, I want to live in your fan fiction utopia too. It sounds fucking awesome. How are you going to do that though? Because it seems like, you know, if you want your economy to be successful and booming, it seems like the countries who are best at it went, well, we definitely want all people who are best at human capital to be in the spaces that they're most efficient at. It seems like We've done things like we've tried to have comparative advantages. So we go, why have one woman at home teach 2 kids when that same woman who's really talented teacher can teach 15 kids, and that other woman who is now not teaching her kids because another woman that is wonderful and that we've regularly and we trust is teaching her children, and that woman can go and do something else successful in whatever way that she would be. Maybe it's making delicious brownies, which, by the way, don't knock brownies, okay? Never knock brownies until you've tried one, right? But when we're talking about
Who
the
hasn't tried
affordability, if
brownies?
you're talking...
Well, I don't know what happened here. I was trying to. I didn't know if somebody had said something earlier. Now watching it back, like for sure, it wasn't just me. Because when I was sitting there, I was like, "What the fuck just happened? Did I miss something?"
How are you proposing to build never knock bracket trust is teaching a woman who is now not teaching her kids because another woman that is wonderful and that we've regularly and we trust is teaching her children, and that woman can go and do something else successful in whatever way that she would be. Maybe it's making delicious brownies, which, by the way, don't knock brownies, okay? Never knock brownies until you've tried one, right? But when we're talking about
Who
the
hasn't tried
affordability,
brownies?
Lady, what are you talking about?
talking about the affordability crisis, how are you proposing to solve it? Because I'm putting forward real answers, like, for example, tax credits. So tax credits for anything having to do with child rearing. Make anything associated, diapers, for example. Make it tax credit. That's not the taxpayer paying for it. That means you don't have to pay extra for it, right? All these things can be helped to make it more affordable to have a children. I'm down for that.
To have a children, dude. Dude, besides just her spurging out and just like, I don't even know what the fuck she's talking about, brownies or what, and like, and she's like, well, I'm bringing solutions and you're not it's like, the topic is feminism doing more good or more harm? Who the fuck cares about your solutions? Well, we're not even, we can't even get there because this topic is whether or not feminism is doing more harm or more good. And you're like putting the cart before the horse. Nobody cares about your solutions to other problems that aren't relevant to like what we're talking about.
Fanfic utopian dream process of economy where women aren't working and aren't getting educated, but we're maintaining a competitive global GDP. What's the system for that?
Sure, I'll tell you. First of all, it's not women can't work, it's mothers should be. Mothers already have a job. They don't need a second job.
True.
The constant throughout all of human history still matters. Yes, we have modern technology now. That doesn't mean you can automate motherhood. That doesn't mean you can replace it or outsource it. We should be investing. So like I said, we have this 1/3 of American men who are not in the workforce because they don't see any reason to be. They've been told they're bad, they're toxic, they're never going to get a woman, and they're never going to have a future anyway. So just play World of Warcraft. Why not? Get on government subsidy for your ADHD and your autism, which you're all self-diagnosed with from being on TikTok. How about we incentivize young men who we desperately need in the trades? We need young men in the trades so bad. It's way cheaper to train them to do the trades than to send them to university. So how about instead of paying them to go to university, giving them $100,000, to
like
go
my
get
idea.
some shitty degree?
Okay.
No.
Yeah, radical educational
You send them
reform.
to tech schools to learn the trades, and then imagine how much money you can save when mom stays home. You don't have to pay for a second vehicle. You're not paying income tax from her wages. You don't have to pay daycare, which makes up 25% of the average household's expenses, by the way.
Shit's expensive.
Like 35% just by mom staying home if dad has a great, good paying job in infrastructure and the trades, which we desperately need anyway, instead of letting Jose come across the border and do it illegally.
Man, it's so interesting, Rachel. You're so much smarter. It's really impressive. First of all, base for taking my idea. I'm glad we're vibing over that one. Radical education reformation. We can all just get behind that one. Like, we don't even need to be mad about that. And I'm with you on that one. Okay, so it's very miraculous how Rachel, in her own divine wisdom, in her own lifetime, has arrived at a economic and societal structural system that I guess nobody's ever thought of before. Like, why hasn't anyone ever tried that? Oh, wait, we fucking did. we actually did try this thing where it's actually more economic for women to stay at home. It's not actually. The reason why women enter the workforce in almost all most competitive global GDP is because when you increase the local labor force that is highly educated, you do better in the GDP participation. Sorry, that's just a fact. That's just a reality of
My
We
GDP.
had the barring mothers. We had it from the 1910s to the 1930s. There was marriage bars. And what happened is we got into war. And we're like, oh, fuck, we kind of need them now. We bring them into war. And then all of a sudden, it's a proof of concept. Women can actually be incredibly powerful forces. They were the ones pushing the manufacturing. It is the manufacturing labor of women during the war that thrust America into the golden age of the economic boom and allowed us to negotiate to become the global reserve currency, which I know you seem to not know anything about economics because you poo-pooed at the gold standard changing, which is crazy bad economic theory, by the way. But just so it's clear, when America became the global reserve currency, that was like the game change. You want to know why you're the dominant country now? It's that. It's that thing specifically. Because all of the nations got together and they were like, who do we think will be most reliable and stable and boom in the next coming future? And it was fun.
Golly.
So this idea of, well, why don't we just try this? Thank you, I appreciate it. This new economic system that nobody's ever thought of. We did, and we moved away from it because it was more efficient to do other things.
Kick it over, Rachel. 2 minutes.
So I'm not sure that it was more efficient. As I said, in the short term, yeah, but GDP go up.
Nope.
But at the expense of what? At the expense of what?
Nope,
So,
competitive GDP. I've said
excuse
that.
me.
Well, if you're going to strawman me, do you want to talk to me or do you want to strawman me?
First of all,
It's
I think
competitive
you need,
GDP.
I think you need one of those special brownies you were talking about to bring you down from the Adderall high. Because you're just
Yay,
like,
drug insults.
it's like, whoa,
If you want to just go to like weird drug insults. I don't know, Rachel. Can you raise your eyebrows? Give it a try.
All right, we are.
Ever tried it
We
before?
are going to. All right.
Yeah.
So this
Your
is.
Botox looks really good on you, by the way.
What are we even talking about?
All right.
I
let's
know you
do-
want Botox, and it looks great, by the way. Go
let's-
off. I
All right,
love
let's
it.
do a reset.
Okay.
2 minutes for Rachel. Go ahead.
Good stuff there. So
It was funny. It was for the crowd, okay? We were giving some crowd pleasers.
yes, you're a bastion of entertainment. Love it.
Sure,
Keep going.
That's why you brought me here.
So again, we're trading long-term sustainability, and again, none of this matters. Oh wow, you've got a massive GDP right now. Oh wow, there's like all of this unsustainable, goofy, fluffy women jobs that I just showed you. The reason I had to have slides was to give people the visual impact of just how much of women's empowerment is subsidized by men's actual productivity. Women own 40% of businesses in the United States and produce 6% of the revenue. How is that more efficient? How is that better for the future? How does that sustain anything?
Because small
And
businesses
we
don't
get to
provide
have
that
that,
much
you
revenue.
guys.
I don't know
You
what
get to
you're
have that at the cost of not having enough babies to replace anyone.
It doesn't matter per. Oh my God! It's just 40% of all the businesses is and 6% is crazy. That I mean,
Having labor shortages, massive inflation. Like, if this is working so well and it's doing so
She
great,
just
why do you
hand-waved
think
it like,
so
oh,
many
yeah.
problems? Now, you don't think it's because of feminism, fine. But everywhere in the world that we push mothers out of the home and into the workforce, the birth rate collapses. And that will have to be dealt with, regardless of if you love having lots of psychologists and crumble cookies and Etsy ladies and whatever.
Yeah, I can tell that you only prepped this point, so I've already addressed that.
It's not that I didn't only prep this point. It's the only
Okay.
point that matters.
Well, you're right. You prepped more, and then I just confirmed evidence you had to run away from the 1970s.
You still haven't told me what we're going to do about
I've given you multiple answers. In fact, you brought some of them.
None of them solve the problem.
All right,
It's like a privileged trilemma all over again.
All right, hold on a second. We do have to.
Solve
we're
Rachel's
going back to
dilemma.
the,
You want
we're
to
going
go
back to
through
the
it?
2 minute,
again,
the 2 minute
you're the
responses.
one who
So,
uses the grip of
so
dilemma.
we're going to
Just
give
don't
Kyla
realize it.
2 minutes. Kyla, the floor is yours for 2 minutes.
Okay, awesome. So again, when we talk about like, so why are like women-owned businesses only contributing to like 6%? I think when you look at like booming economies, the Fortune 500, I think probably contributes like at least 30, maybe 40% of the GDP in tax receipts. So the idea that like it's all these small businesses, all small businesses don't contribute that much to government tax receipts. Welcome to the government, I suppose. When we're talking about goofy, fluffy women jobs, I agree that there's like too many Etsy shops, but they're going to die and go under anyways, right? Sure, but the reality is that these goofy, fluffy women jobs were created
That's her
by
point.
corporate infrastructure because they realized things like Ford is a great example of this, right? Ford made HR in like 1910 because big companies need it. They need managers and they need people that oversee people to make sure you keep making work. So if you're so smart in all your wisdom, you have to go to the Fortune 500. You have to go to Elon Musk himself and be like, hey, those HR jobs really silly, not good for the economy. It's not very efficient. And I'm going to probably look at you and say, I probably know more about what's good for the economy. As I said before, it's not.
and I think somebody said this in the Q&A after, but Ford got sued for not producing profits for the share, not focusing on profits enough for the shareholders or something like that. It's not just because of HR, okay? But overall, they were just saying that Ford was not making, financially responsible decisions with the money. And they were sued by, I think the Dodge brothers were leading the charge. The Dodge brothers were working for Ford or invested in the company or whatever it was. But yeah, so I mean, you could make the argument that they weren't making the best financial decisions for their bottom line. And that's why they were sued. Now, that's a longer story, and I think Ford ultimately was probably doing the better things, some of the things that they were doing. But, I mean, if you're just talking about GDP, then no, they weren't doing that because they weren't focusing on the bottom line. I don't know how much of this I can do, honestly. I've tortured myself for at least an hour or two now. I might call it for now, and I might go hang out with Confluence. I think Confluence is still going. I might go into his live thing. He's reviewing one of these other debates, and he's doing an open panel, so I might go hop over there. Yeah, we might go do that because I gotta pee, and then I got a few more minutes, and then I gotta go to bed. So that was pretty much the whole thing.
That's always been a straw man.
I don't know if there's any more.
A competitive GDP
But she kept doing the straw man thing, maintaining competitive GDP. All that stuff was gone over. So there was. I don't. If you go back through this debate now, even if you're like, if you happen across this and you're one of the, NotSoErudite supporters, you're a DGGer, okay, you need to think about this from the start of the beginning to the end of the debate. Is feminism doing more good or more harm? Is the debate topic. Rachel is making point after point and had a great opening about why it's more harmful. Kyla says like two things out of the gate. Makes an emotional appeal to how everybody's a person, and that's why feminism is actually good, and something else, some other emotional appeal in her opening. Then after that, nothing is absolutely nothing. It's just trying to nitpick like one or 2 points that Rachel made and pretend that the debate was actually, is feminism to blame for everything or is it not, which is not the topic of the debate. If that was the topic of the debate, it would be a losing debate. Of course, that's impossible to defend. Is feminism responsible for every single negative outcome in society and in developed nations? No, of course, that would be retarded. But that was not the topic of the debate. So anyways, I think that's it. We're going to call it. This was excellent performance here by everybody involved. We're going to go to bed now, sort of. I'm going to probably go hang out with Confluence a little bit, and then I'm going to go to bed. I need to go over I need to get a couple of the guys in here and just go over the weekend, but I threw this together last minute, so I didn't get to send out any invites to the people that were there. So I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. I might do like a short stream tomorrow. I try to actually get some people to come by and chat. Anyways, we're going to go to bed. Thanks for hanging out. Go listen to Hello Listener.
And I don't understand why you would listen to this guy. Yes, I do. You do it because it's cool. You do it because it's easier than following the truth. For now, but eventually you'll have to pay your dues. Hades is coming for you. Are you gonna move?
Move from what? You a superstitious nut. You just mad you ain't like us. You a bum. You know you lucky I don't beat you like a punk. Everything you say's a joke. Just a boomer trying to cope. Get advice from some old screw up. Why don't you go advise a rope? I won't ever be like you, even though you were like me. Hold up, what did I just say?
Yo, I'll tell you that for free. That's the first true thing you said. See, they want you cold and dead. Every image of success they sell you comes from Satan, kid. Look at me, I'm taking drugs. Look at me, I'm being bad. Look at me, I get in fights. Look at me, I hate my dad. Look at me, I'm having sex. Marriage, LOL, I'm dead. This is normal, this is what it means to be successful, kid. Won't you come to all my shows? Won't you take some random drugs? Fireworks and UFOs, you can't breathe, that's cool with us. Did you die inside the crowd? Are you bleeding from the mouth? Little homie, that's on you. Y'all know what y'all came to do. I know you must be scared, and that it's lonely in your head. And I wish I could be in there with you. But I know the moment I do, it'll change your